Hey!
Hello.
Welcome. Oh wow, this got turned somehow.
It's us.
Probably hit it with
There
your
we
big
go.
old
I
hands.
hit it with my big old hands.
Your big old hands.
You know what they say about big hands? Big gloves. I'm a little tilted. It's fine. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Legends of Avantris, episode 41. How about that? 41.
Wow.
I'm gonna be dicking
lot.
with the camera for a little bit, so just ignore me.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Episode 41, ladies and gentlemen. And we have been playing together for almost 3 years at this point, and we play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. We're a bunch of friends. We embarrass ourselves. You guys profit. We get to play Dungeons and Dragons, so who's the real winner here? Us. That's the answer. And so, what are some announcements? Oh, he has 600 followers.
600 followers.
Wow, thank you guys.
And on Twitter, too.
Wow, this is the worst camera angle I've ever seen in my entire life.
Just keep tilting. Get more. A little more. A little more.
Yeah, we're gonna do it live real quick.
There.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
No.
Too much.
Too much?
No, it's good. I like it.
Oh, you just fucked
I think
it up.
it's better the other way it was.
Sorry, we are just
There.
adjusting.
Good. You're perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
So we hit 600 followers.
600 followers. So, sometime during the stream tonight, we're not going to say when I feel like it's a good point, we're going to do a giveaway.
Some way midstream.
So watch the whole damn thing. You have to be in chat. And there's going to be a command. It's going to be great. You're going to win whatever the people are going to be showing us here.
You're going to
The
win
people.
your choice of custom D&D patch, or really any other patch, if you want it to be like Hogwarts or
will
Disney
talk
or
about
whatever. Yeah, why don't you talk about it?
So I make these. So it is an iron-on patch, and I've got them for all the classes, as well as the D&D ampersand, and some Game of Thrones stuff, some Harry Potter stuff, some fun things.
Or
and
other
then,
stuff.
Or
be
other
whatever.
things, depending on what it is. And then also a custom dice tray. So this is a pure leather dice tray. You roll dices in the inside, and it's got a cool thing on the outside. Or if you want to roll on top of something that is our name, you can have this on the inside.
Yeah, so you can choose sort of, do you want the logo and the finish on the inside, and so this would be folded up like this. You could also get it inked if you choose, or you can kind of have it reverse. So
Reverse.
Question. Do the patches iron onto flesh?
For you, yes.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Good, thank you.
It's also sew on for you.
So on, that's gross. That's just fine though. With that, the other announcement is that PAX Unplugged is this weekend.
Yes!
Holy shit! We love PAX Unplugged. We loved it last year. We will be there again this weekend. And so if you're coming to PAX Unplugged, we'll be there. Look for us. Come say hi. We'll say hi.
in Philadelphia.
We promise we're not
tabletop
dicks in
convention.
real life. Not
Whoa,
quite.
speak
not
for
you. Yeah,
yourself.
speak for yourself. That's true. It's very true. I'm gonna keep adjusting this. It's fine.
You playing next Wednesday?
We are playing next Wednesday, right? Isn't that the...
We're gonna have to update the overlay.
I'm fully aware.
Shall we make that announcement as well?
Sure, why not?
Andy, why don't you make the announcement?
I'm moving in with them temporarily.
Yes!
So I'll get to be at the table for the next few months.
Yeah,
So
I'm
he's
so
going
excited.
to be right here in a chair
the
off
shop.
screen.
Dating my wife.
We're keeping him off screen.
He'll be at the table yet again, so we are very excited.
Yeah.
We're going to update the overlay, and he'll be moving in, doing a little bit of relocation. So
We'll give the full download in Discord if he wants to.
And then hopefully eventually we'll find our own place, and then we'll be able to all join at the table every Wednesday.
That would be
Or Kelsey will
delightful.
just move in too.
Yes!
We're starting the gaming mansion we always talked about.
Oh
Finally.
my god, my dick. Anyway. So I think the problem is this cable is pressing on this, which is turning the camera.
Here, then can
So
you're
we're gonna be adjusting that while I give.
Yeah.
So we're gonna introduce the player. I think that's it. Giveaway, PAX Unplugged. Andy will be here. Remember, if you tune in for Feywild, it was so good to be back in the Feywild with you guys. If you join us on Monday, and I apologize for my moving camera. It's going to be happening until we find a good angle that isn't totally destroyed. Remember, even though it was Monday this week, we'll be back to Tuesday.
So it's not behind.
When it'll be back to Tuesdays normally. There we go. There we go. See, ladies and gentlemen, it's a masterpiece.
That's why you gotta let a woman do it.
It is a masterpiece, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, we will be we're going to be sticking to our Tuesday, Wednesday schedule. Holidays may be a little wonky, but this is going to be our schedule for now. Let us know what you think. Introducing our players. We'll start with, as we always do, Richie playing Rodex Stoneheart, Dwarf Fighter. We then have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket, a Gnome Warlock. We then have Annulin, who is Mossgrove, a Wood Elf Ranger played by Kelsey, the one and only. And then Vanda's True Strike, High Elf Rogue, played by Andy over here. I am Mikey. I am the Ironing Board DM. I literally DM on an ironing board, and I roll dice. And don't get a dick shot in here.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dick shot.
That's where he's at.
Thank God he's wearing pants.
Thank God. I normally don't. So this is a fortuitous stream to get that shot. I normally don't wear pants. Pantsless DM was taken. Damn.
This is the second best option.
Yeah. And so yeah, write dice and roll. I roll dice and write fan fiction. And then so let us get into what happened last time and what did happen last time. The party had met up with Mina, who was the alchemical assistant of Alphonse LeBlanc, who had run his shop, the Equivalent Exchange, back in Gullhaven, who had journeyed with him to Agwe. She had seen some strange goings-on in the district of the Sunsteel Ward, I think the only district that the party had not yet visited. And it was... they kind of drew some connections. Something didn't seem right. There was a strange woman who had been taking these young men who had seemed to be entranced down into a cellar. Party joined up with Mina. Mina led them through the Sunsteel Ward to where she thought that she had seen it, in an abandoned barn or stable or the like. On their way there, however, they encountered a blockade of sorts, a ruined building, almost looked like it had been completely detonated, and whispers of the Will-O-Wisp. Goons and thugs of the caravan, the gang that runs the Sunsteel Ward, had been basically blocking things off with their presence, as well as the presence of their enormous giant hyenas that they have tamed, seemingly. And it was through some decent diplomacy that the party got through. And as they walked by, they noticed kind of this strange bluish greenish kind of hue and residue in the smoldering remains of these buildings, and a lot of smashed chains, which made them remember that there was a vigilante of sorts that had been mentioned by Ragara, the head of the caravan. Had been freeing slaves. They finally made their way, after finding safe passage, also thanks to Guru's orders to all the gang bosses that the party was not to be fucked with. Quite literally. And they made their way to a abandoned barn, exactly how Mina had described it. Annulin was a phenomenal lockpick. God, was
best
she
we've
good.
ever
So
seen.
Best we've ever seen.
Hey, I just remember something that came up. I can't play D&D.
D&D is not fun. It's for shitty nerds.
I gotta go wash my hair.
It's for shitty nerds. And, thank you, Rich. And they made their way down into the basement, almost rushing in, and suddenly the party was sobered when they saw a figure facing a corner of this darkened cellar that turned towards them, eyes glossed over in pink. And they started screaming, "They are here, they are here, they are here." Combat ensued, and who else but Tyche Heartseeker, former ally of the party, or was she ever an ally, at least a former ally of Avantris, attacking them from the ceiling with her bow, previously revealed to be a vampire. A brutal battle. It was daylight. It was the daytime, and the party was able to subdue her and beat her down and down, seemingly in the day not able to shift into her pink mist to escape, but not quite able to be knocked unconscious due to her undead nature. As they were tying her up and getting ready to question her, she admitted that she had no idea how she was. And she didn't want to do all the bad things she had done. But she had been promised a cure. And on that word, enormous trap door in the roof or the floor of this seemingly abandoned barn collapsed, letting the noon sun into the cellar. Despite Rodek's best efforts, Taiki was fried almost immediately in the sunlight. Her shriveled body is now laying beneath you. You see Rodek's furry ram fur coat, I imagine, kind of covering her lower half as a blackened, withered husk of who Taiki used to be, kind of sunken into her seemingly untouched armor. You look around and the air seems very quiet. The slain stable boys, by Rodek's hand as well as Taiki's. And the sun shines down. Oh, I should probably mention, as the sun did shine in, they saw a figure, strange pink skin, tail, horns, bat-like wings. Female body, very voluptuous in the battle bikini almost, with a corset. Shift out of existence, seemingly. This figure has disappeared. The noon-ish afternoon sun shines down. You are standing in the cellar as you kind of see the bits of the ruined barn up through this first level. What are you guys doing?
The first thing that I want to do is I'm covered in my own blood. I'm covered in Rodek's blood. I want to feel my neck to see if I can feel like the holes and if they feel bad, and then investigate myself, I suppose.
Make a medicine check.
9.
It hurts like shit. You do have wounds. Blood is oozing out. It's kind of coagulated a little bit. But you feel like your blood was drained. You felt a little bit of your life force. You feel weaker, certainly, from that. But it doesn't feel the same kind of way when you got egged by the slod.
Okay, so I'll just turn to the rest of the group and say, guys, I'm concerned about these neck bites. I don't know much about vampirism, but maybe we should get this checked out. I'm not the only one who is bit.
I'm gonna run up to him and put my hands on him and go, I'll check it, and I'm gonna lesser restoration him and see if it has any effect on him.
Okay. You run up to him, and with a wave of the hand, kind of this strange, eerie mist appears in the area of the wound. And you don't feel any different, but you don't feel particularly bad.
Did it have any effect on the lowering of his max HP?
I would say no, because I think it's a long rest.
I'll just relay that information. I don't necessarily feel infected or any worse than I normally would. I'm just banged up. I'm not sure. It may not hurt to get checked out, but I appreciate whatever you tried to do.
Yeah, I just think that Lumi's lying to me about all this bard stuff. She made it sound really glamorous and cool, and like I'd be able to just do amazing things. And all I've done so far is sing some really awful songs and write some terrible poetry and a couple of pages worth of fan fiction.
I'm gonna nod and look grateful, but I want to turn to Rodek and say, listen, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was all of a sudden we were fighting, and I didn't mean to wound you.
Well, that's all right, lad. I think there's clearly she was very powerful. And I look down at her. I guess would she be still covered in my coat?
Your ram pelt coat
still
covers her withered, shriveled form.
I want to take it off and sort of inspect her. I guess, see that she's clearly dead.
Make an investigation check.
Oh, my dice. That should be good to have. 5.
She's dead. She's very clearly dead. You kind of investigate where you had remember her. She filled out her armor considerably well, and she no longer does. The skin that was exposed to the sunlight, you can kind of see has some kind of a pale semblance of what it was wherever it was covered, but everything that had been exposed in direct sunlight which was a lot of her arms, her almost her entire arm, some of her shoulder, her head completely withered and shriveled.
Well, I'm sorry we couldn't find a cure, at least in time. But we've got. Go ahead.
She mentioned a cure, and I have to wonder if that's even a thing, because Guru said that there wasn't one. So I have to wonder if whoever told her there was a cure was just lying.
I have to wonder. This is very strange that Alphonse, his assistant, just happened to see all of this happen and happened to lead us right to Taiki. Almost as if granted by a god, he provides us the information we need. And then all of a sudden, we finally defeat her. We're about to learn more, hopefully. And this devil-looking thing opens the door. And we know that the last devilish-type creature that we ran into...
Was you!
Before that took Matthias away, he mentioned Alphonse.
Oh.
It's not a coincidence. There's no way.
So I wonder, I guess a couple things. One, most importantly, I think we need to get back and get cleaned up, and we need to make sure Mina's okay. Two, I believe we should probably tell Guru that the vampire, if there aren't more, which I still am thinking that there might be, has been slain. And then I guess at some point we might need to bring up that mention of that demon we met with Matthias to Alphonse and let him know that he can't run forever.
Where is Mina? Have you heard from Lumi?
No.
She was upstairs.
Yeah, we left her upstairs, remember? She didn't want to come down here because you smelled.
Can you ask Lumi?
I mean, sure, but I'm a little mad at her because she told me bards were awesome and they're not. Oh, you want me to do it now?
Yeah, hey, like right now.
Oh my god, I'm so busy. Fine.
And I'll try to talk to Lumi.
So you're going to try to communicate, and she'll teleport back to you to whisper in your ear?
No, I can communicate telepathically as long as we're in the same plane of existence.
Oh. You channel your mind. You see Sylvie's kind of eyes gloss over in this sparkly hue. And you can channel into Lumi's mind. She reads you loud and clear. And she tells you that there were a number of Dragonborn accompanying two large giant hyenas walking down the road, and Mina freaked out and dove into a barrel to hide. And so she's currently hiding in a barrel, and Lumi just kind of perched out, watching the road and keeping an eye on the barrel.
Yeah, she's in a barrel. Like you do. Right? Am I right? I know I've done it.
All right. Well, do we bring her with us?
I think that we should at least return her to Alphonse's place of residence, and then again, I think we need to get cleaned up, and then maybe we can go talk to Guru on our own.
I mean Taiki.
Well, I honestly, again, I this whole undead thing is relatively new to me. I suppose we could bury her. It's the least we could do. It wouldn't take long.
Well, here's the thing. I think us having proof that we ended...
Fell to Dracula?
That we
No
fell to
offense,
Dracula.
Yeah.
I mean, I think beyond that, can we have proof?
I hate
sorry,
to interrupt
go
you,
ahead.
but when you have a stroke of brilliance, you really need to interrupt your friends. And I feel like after all of this, you really need to start going by a new name, Avantris. And I'm thinking Avantris, friend of Dracula's, is probably the best title I've ever heard.
Right. First off, we discussed this. I am not giving anybody any idea within 100 miles of this town that I have any connection to the vampire, that I may be a vampire, or that I can turn into a bat.
Oh my god, because you can also turn into a bat. So you're Avantris, the rogue, who can turn into a bat and is a friend of Dracula's. Like, you literally can't write that.
No one will believe you. I'll make sure of it.
Well, nobody believes me anyway, even when I'm telling the truth, so... Or
as
when
far
I'm
as
lying.
taking proof back, the bounty hunter in me says, yes, we need to do something, but I'm not so much in the business of mutilating my friend's corpse.
Well, can we keep it whole? Go ahead.
Yeah, why don't we just take her with us and, show her and then bury her and you can say goodbye.
What if they won't let us bury her? What if they want to, burn her or something because she's Dracula?
She's already pretty crispy.
That's true.
Well...
Sorry, Avantris.
Let's wrap her up in something. I find some cloth or something to wrap her up in.
Okay.
Can we fashion together like a sled that we can just put her body on, like a medical sled, and drag her home?
I would say that there's enough, if you'll remember, this was a cellar filled with a lot of farm equipment, and there's so many lids of boxes and crates and things and nails and hammers that I would imagine the four of you could easily to fashion together a really rickety sled, but yes.
I'm not sure that's the best idea because we have to take it through town and people are going to wonder why we're, oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Wow, we haven't lost,
No, it's because of, the
Cancer?
application. Yeah. Sorry, chat. Give us a second.
Yeah, this is the first time we've lost Andy and Kelsey in a dog's age, huh?
It's Slack.
Mm.
What?
It gave him the timer.
Slack or Zoom.
Start.
We're going to fix this, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for bearing with us, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing? We're going to be doing a giveaway. 600 followers.
Yikes, BRB. The meeting ended, game's over.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we pay these motherfuckers money.
We do.
So they shouldn't be cutting us out. I'm going to write a very strongly worded but polite letter. It'll be both polite and strongly worded. We'll get both Andy and Kelsey back into the saddle. So how's everybody doing? Who wants to win the giveaway? If you're in chat, how about we say who wants to win the giveaway? Who does?
Okay.
Say me.
Skype is terrible now.
Well, Skype won't even work with our business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Zoom now because Skype, the old Skype, basically got nuked from orbit, and new Skype doesn't really function with any of this business. Bing, bang, bing, bong.
Bing bong.
Bing, bing, bong. We'll cut this out in post. Hellhound Gang, thank you. Thank you for actually following my prompt. I'm just trying to kill time, dead air.
There we go.
Dead air.
Sorry,
Got
guys. We pay for a subscription and it still kicks us out.
Unbelievable. Strongly worded letter.
Unbelievable.
Okay, dead vampire at your feet. You're going to try to wrap her up.
Yeah.
Sled.
So are we putting her on a sled?
It's not a good idea because then we're traipsing through town and we know that the Dragonborn in this area already don't trust us. Just because they can't mess with us and rough us up doesn't mean they can't say, hey, what do you have under that there tarp, young lady? And then they look under it and it's a vampire and then all of a sudden they're like, ah!
I don't think anybody would mess with us walking back. I just think if we let them know, they know that we were here on business for Guru. I mean, if you have a better idea, I'm open to it. I just don't want to have it be an undignified way to treat Taiki's remains.
Yeah.
I'm with Sylvie on this. I don't think we want to be drawing attention to ourselves carrying around a dead body, vampire or not. That doesn't really look good.
Could we... Would it be undignified to place her in the bag of holding?
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's what I was thinking. We could wrap her up real nice.
Just don't think it's uncommon. Look, there was an explosion. People are aware that the area was closed off. All we're doing is retrieving a burnt corpse, bringing it back to Guru. I understand you don't want to risk it, but everybody knows who we are. They know we're on business.
Yeah.
All right. If you're willing to charm whoever tries to stop us, then I'm fine with it.
I give him a wink and I say, quite literally.
What is the surrounding area like? I know this backs up to swamp, but is it something that we could make our way around and avoid?
So this was actually further away from the swamp. This was the edge of the city, but there's actually a lot of like flat plains on the outskirts, and that's kind of where you guys are at towards the edge. You're kind of in the slummier area of the Sunsteel War, which is probably the roughest area of Ogway that you've experienced yet. Does that answer the question?
I guess I'm asking if there's a way that we could skirt around like the edge of the Sunsteel War and make our way back to wherever we decide we want to go.
I would say, fuck, where's my map of Ogway? Handy dandy map of Ogway. I created it, yet it's escaping my brains. Or if it's not
How
here.
long would it take us once we're ready to go? How long would it take to get out of the Sunsteel War by foot?
Roll an intelligence check. Yeah, I don't know where it is. It ain't here. I would say that
I have no idea. I have really short legs, so.
it would be a number of hours. You'd have to go the roundabout. You know that you're towards the outskirts of town, that there is a road out leading from the Sunsteel
No,
War.
I meant if we went straight through.
Oh,
if we just went straight through as if
you
we
went
didn't have a
straight
dead
through
body.
at a normal, decent walking pace, it'd probably take an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. It's a big town, and you're walking and all of that business. To get around, you'd have to basically go outside of the town and kind of trudge through the some of the meadows and flat lands to get basically back around towards the docks and the river port.
Well, I say we go through town. We tell them that we're, that we're on business for Guru, like you said, and we know that he's protecting us.
I have an idea.
What?
If Vandris wants to mount my broom, then
Alright.
he can hold Taiki, and I can go at full speed and put us under invisibility, and we can just fly back. But you guys will have to make your way on foot.
Would Taiki be invisible? Would you have to catch
Anything held by the invisible person is invisible.
I would say once a corpse becomes a corpse, that would be fine.
I could also do all three of us, so.
That would
if
be
we
a
had to do it
stopgap, for sure. That'd be a stopgap.
I don't like splitting up, but that might be our best option. Vandris, is that acceptable? Is that dignified enough?
As long as I think I can handle that. As long as I don't fall off, I'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably for the best for you, at the very least, is if you're not dead, too.
I'd like to remain alive, but I guess we should go, even if it's just the two of us, we should go immediately to Guru. I don't want to take this back to the inn and hang on to her remains. We just need to give them to Guru as quickly as possible and then decide what we can do with them. I'll spend the time to dig a grave if I have to. We should just get it over with.
Okay. Well, let's do the thing then, Jelly Bean.
So, you go down and you grab Taiki's body. As soon as you kind of pull it up a little bit, you hear kind of some rattling within the armor, and you hear a as a circular pink disc kind of falls out and rattles and settles on the ground. You look down, it's a pink disc, striped in some areas. On the top of it, almost looks coin-like, and on top of it, it has a stylistic catfish.
This fell off from Taiki.
Does it look like, does it resemble any of the gambling chips that I would have seen in passing?
It looks exactly like a gambling chip. And you notice that there's still kind of some rattling around in her armor as you kind of stop as soon as that pink chip falls out.
Shall we?
Well, we knew she was a gambler. So,
Why would she carry the chips?
well, maybe she was stealing them?
I mean, I don't know why they'd be in her armor, but I would assume that she received them as tips while working.
Yeah, even that too.
Shall we look to see if she has anything on her? Any clues or anything?
I mean, that's up to Vandris. I don't know how comfortable he feels about us reading through her body.
We should look for clues, but we shouldn't take any of her personal belongings.
I think that's fine. Let's just investigate and maybe we can at least try to avenge her. Shall you?
I'll set her corpse back down and we can all take a look.
Investigation
together.
check at advantage, whoever would like to do it.
I would let Vandris do it.
I got 20.
20. Anila, what did you say?
The chip, does it look exactly like the chips, or does it look like a chip but it's pink?
You know that there were different colors of chips to denote different gold values on these at the Hungry Catfish, and so you probably get the sense that this chip might be a $1 1 coin chip.
Okay.
Got a 20, Vandris. You are kind of being gentle with her, kind of fried dead remains of your former companion. As you kind of reach in, you notice that there are a few things kind of stuffed into various nooks and crannies of this armor. You find a pair of leather gloves, same gloves that you remember she tried to put on in the cemetery, that to mask her cold touch. You find a glass bottle of a goopy gray viscous liquid. You find a stash in one of the cups of her leather armor of a variety of chips from the Hungry Catfish. Pink, purple, green, orange. Worth a hefty sum, but not exchanged. And as you're kind of reaching in, Vandris, you're going to probably give up soon, and you think that you've got everything, and your fingers kind of graze something along her navel. Feels like thick paper. You reach in, and you pull out what look like cards. 5 of them in total. Large cards the size of your hand. Intricately painted, every single one, with wording on them. Some of them featuring numbers for a suit. Not a standard playing deck. And they look a little something.
Oh shit!
Like these.
This is the back. And the front.
I take the liquid in the cards and hand them to Sylvie and ask her if she could identify the liquid or if she's seen the cards that look like that before.
Sorry, I'm just going to show these.
Can you read them off, maybe?
Oh, yeah. So the first one was Beast. So I'll start over. I'll do it again. So it's Beast, Avenger, Mists, Beggar, and Tempter. Okay.
So, you hand these cards to Sylvie. You notice, Sylvie, as he hands these to you, that there's actually, these cards seem to be intricate in their design, but there seems to be a silver marking and writing on either side of these cards. And you get a sense of the other magical items, just for the sake of it. You will say you're taking a short rest. Gloves of missile snaring, and an oil of slipperiness, whatever the slippery thing is.
Oil of slippery.
Oil of slipperiness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, oil of slipperiness. Yeah. And you find that on the face of each of these cards is written a different word in this silver ink, swooping cursive common letters. On the card marked the Beggar is written experience. On the card marked the Mists is written purpose. On the card marked the Beast is written unknown. On the card marked the Avenger is written guidance. On the card marked the Tempter is written destiny on the face. These cards are large enough where it's plenty of room to write, and you're still able to make out the full image on each, as well as the name. On the back is written the exact same thing. Signature, swooping curves. Name that you recognize. Madame Zostra.
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, I think I may have actually seen these cards once in my life. When I was much more littlerist than I am now, this woman named Madame Zostra read my cards for me, and she told me of my destiny and my fate and all kinds of really awesome things. And my siblings didn't believe me because they're assholes, but it was true, it happened. And that's her signature right there.
And it's the same person.
Yeah. I really, for a while, thought I must have been dreaming about it. That was so long ago. Well, that's really cool, guys.
Do you think Taiki stole these cards from her?
Well, that would be a really shitty thing to do. But yeah, maybe. I mean, if she stole all of the chips from Guru, then she probably stole all the things she had. But why these cards?
And what was she writing on them? And why?
I don't know.
Can I take a look?
No. Okay, fine.
And I sort of like look through, and I want to try to find any kind of sign of anything that reminds me of like Alphonse or the devil that we saw with either the pink one that opened the door that killed Taiki or the one with Matthias.
I would say you have all of the information that I've given you. You know which card is what's written on which. Sylvie, can you make an intelligence check for me, or an Arcana check for reference?
Well,
Which one said purpose?
Purpose, the mists.
I have a theory, but I'll tell you in a minute once I tell the god of the universe, in a numerical kind of way, how intelligent I am. If I can figure out how to use D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond, ladies and gentlemen. Press
You said Arcana?
Yeah.
11.
I would say it's a pretty easy check. You recognize these as Taroka cards. The same style that you were read a number of years ago.
Yeah, so exactly what I thought. Now, I must say what I'm concerned about. No, I guess that wouldn't work. Well, maybe. What if each one of... No. Yeah, because she was your friend. What if each one of these cards represents one of us? The Mist is like Avantris, because he's like shady and roguey. The Tempter is obviously me, because I'm the most prettiest gnome the world has ever known. And so tempting. The Beast is Annulin, because she's a wood elf, and she's in the forest and stuff. The Avenger, because it's wearing armor, is like Ganji, because he was our warrior. And then the Beggar is like Rodak, because it's a gross old man with a beard who's bleeding and dirty and probably smells funny.
That does fit perfectly.
I know.
So are you saying that your destiny, Vandris's purpose,
Let's be real, I don't have a purpose. My purpose is to
inexperience,
steal things and get drunk in bars and meet hot women.
and Annulin is, who was Annulin, the Avenger, the Beast, or something?
The Beast.
She's unknown.
Yeah. What would Ganji
Well,
be?
I think clearly
What would Ganji be? That's going to be the clincher.
guidance.
Well, obviously he could cast that.
Oh my!
Oh my god! Oh, I'm so smartest of
Right.
all.
I
God,
think you may be onto something. Believe it or not, I don't necessarily agree that I have any kind of purpose.
Yeah, me
But
either.
regardless, we need to go talk to this woman if
Yeah.
she's still alive
I
or
agree.
around from all those years ago.
Is she in Agwe?
Well, Rodak, yeah, I'm so glad that you asked that, but next time brush your teeth first. But also, I don't know, because we were outside of Agwe when it happened. I met her, there was this traveling, like, festival that would happen.
And thanks for the sub, Maya.
Thank you for the
I
sub,
think
love
we're
you.
gonna get
Yes.
business done. And yeah, that's my little nod there, nose.
Yeah, so I met her outside of town. It was a festival that had come by, and my family always went. And I was just kind of off by myself, and I happened to stumble across her tent and have my fortune read. She was really, really nice, but I didn't ask her where she was from. I don't remember. I don't think. But if she was going to be anywhere, Agwe would be the place.
Well, then perhaps
Or she's
we
dead.
can-
She died a horrible death because she was very old. Very fragile. Rickety old
Perhaps we
bones.
can take Taiki's corpse to Guru, and then we can ask around and see. We've got a couple of leads now. We can still talk to. We got to talk to Guru. We can choose to go talk to Alphonse, although I think we'd be awfully aggressive to just go and reveal what we know. Yet, but we may still want to. It's just an option, and then maybe we try to find this Madame Zofstra.
Yeah, I'll send Lumi, because she's a little bastard. Bard thing we've really got to talk about. But I'm going to send Lumi to my sister. And since she works here in town, if Madame Zofstra has a place, she would know about it, I would guess. So I'll send her and see what she says.
I think I agree with all that.
That you need to brush your teeth before you talk to me.
Alright, well, anyway, I'm going to keep talking.
Oh no, it's this thing in your beard. Ew, that's dinner from last night. Gross. Dwarves.
Well, I'll check better next time. I need to buy a comb or a brush or something. But,
Yeah.
do we feel comfortable just bringing Taiki's corpse to Guru?
I feel comfortable doing with Taiki's corpse. Well, I'm gonna refrain that. I leave it up to Avantris.
I don't think we have a choice, and I think that the sooner we get this evidence to Guru, then we can put her to rest, and hopefully get some more answers, and then start looking into this Madame Zofstra thing.
Agreed.
All right, let's find Mina and.
Let's escort her back to Alphonse's place, and Sylvia will fly us and the corpse to Guru.
All right.
If we take a long time, you can meet us at the Catfish, or we can meet back at the inn. Either way.
Let's meet back at the end, because I think you'll probably beat us there. Thank you, Arad.
Thank you, Arad.
Thank you, Arad Heath, for the follow.
Thank you.
Much love.
All right. Well, let's go. We can all go up, and then
Yeah.
we'll get you sent off.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So we go up the stairs. We'll look
Dragging
for.
Taiki's remains.
I'll carry her. I'm not
You'll
gonna
carry
drag
her.
I should be able to pick her up. She's not that
Oh
heavy.
yeah. I'll let Vandus do it.
At this point, no.
We wrapped her up in a cloth, and I'll just carry her.
Okay. So she's wrapped up in a cloth. You gently taken care to not disturb her body too much. You remember that you kind of step over the kind of blown apart remains of the stable boys from Taiki's explosive arrow. There's not a whole lot left of them. And you make your way up the stairs of the cellar into the street. Street seems to be empty. Across the way, the kennel with the hyenas seems to be a bit more died down than it was when you arrived. As soon as you arrive from the cellar door, Umi zips down, whispers in your ear, Sylvie, points. There she is. Points to this large barrel with a lid still on it.
She's in that barrel. Rodek, you should probably go get her out.
Well, why don't you two get invisible first, just so that we can split up, so she's not. Well,
Alright.
do you think she'd be suspicious if?
If we're
Well, she's hiding there anyway.
carrying a vampire. Yeah.
Never mind. Forget that. I walk over to the barrel and lift the lid up.
Okay. You lift the lid up. It's a pretty large barrel, heavy wooden lid. You effortlessly, though, for you with your 20 strength, chuck it to the side, and you see these blinking eyes made to look enormous with these thick spectacles, the cowering form of Mina. You hear the rattling of her enormous backpack as she's kind of scrunched up onto the side despite her small frame. Her backpack takes up most of this barrel.
All right, let's go.
Did you, what happened? You're not dead. I thought you were dead.
We stopped it. We stopped it.
Okay, I'm sorry. And she
And I
grabs
grab
your
her
hand.
forearm and I'll rip her out of the barrel.
She said, "Oh, thank you so much. There were some scary hyenas, and I was afraid, and I didn't have you guys, and I dove into the barrel. I'm sorry."
All right. Well, you're fine. We've put the threat to rest, and we'll be escorting you home now.
That's fine. That's fine. We can just go back to the hotel. I need to do some shopping at the promenade anyway.
All right. Well, let's go.
Okay. You lift the lid up. It's a pretty large barrel with a lid still on it. As soon as you arrive from the cellar door, Umi zips down, whispers in your ear, Sylvie, points. There she is. Points to this large barrel with a lid still on it.
and I just grab her and I'll kind of look at Annulin, and then we'll just go, without even like caring about Vandus or Sylvie, I'll just like start leading the three of us.
And then seeing him do that, I'll turn to Vandris, I'll touch him, and we'll go invisible.
Okay. You cast invisibility on the three of you. You blink out of existence. I need Rodak to make a deception check. With advantage because Annulin's assisting, I'll say. 20. She doesn't look back at all. As the two of you successfully mount the broom and fly off invisible, heading towards the hungry catfish. Annulin, Rodak, you lead Mina, and she says, What happened down in the spooky basement?
We encountered a vampire, and
They're real?
They are real, but don't tell anyone. Alphonse wouldn't like that, would he?
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't. But
I don't think so. No.
So what you saw, like Alphonse said, there is a vampire. That's right. But we stopped it. We killed it. It's very dead. The threat is no longer here.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. And there's no vampire that's gonna sneak up on me. That's okay. That's fine. And so she continues to join you. As you all are making your way, you make it past the building that had been destroyed. And it seems to be a little bit more dispersed at this point. And as you're walking by, I need both of you to make perception checks, please.
That's cocked as fuck.
Anyone?
24.
9.
We're not gonna hear shit. As you are walking by Annulin, once again, your wood elven ears kind of pick up something that Rodak totally misses. And you see 3 dragonborn, each of a different color, 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 green. They're all pointing at something. And you hear very quietly, "We'll be ready this time." And there seems to be an aura of certainty about them. And as you make your way past, you kind of make your way through the streets of the Sunsteel Ward, and you notice that you're kind of following behind. You kind of are making your way past the enormous hyenas that that the caravan employs. You still see, kind of as you're making your way through the town, through the bazaars and the open air markets, the falcon-headed Aarakocra kind of standing watch. And as you're kind of seeing these dragonborn disperse, they're all kind of heading in the same direction that you're heading. And they're all kind of veering off to this road. And we'll keep that perception check, Annulin. You kind of glance over down one of these lanes, and you see the sign that says the Desert Rose. And on the sign is this golden sand dune with a spiraling pink flower that's blooming out of the dune. And there seems to be a lot of movement kind of in and around this structure. But in order to not draw suspicion, you all make your way, and you eventually make your way through the caravan. Mina is just, I can't believe there's a vampire. I mean, I didn't think, what if the vampire saw me? When I saw her, and then I would have been a vampire. Isn't that how it works? I don't know.
I mean, it
doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way, Annulin, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she knows a thing or two. She was in a play about one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw it was very good. I really liked it very much. I hope you guys do it again.
Well, you're fine. I think it's clear that you're not a vampire. You didn't die. You were very fortunate in seeing that and leading us to her. And you're very safe. We'll keep the whole town safe.
Okay, I'm very grateful. You make your way back towards the Magnolia Promenade, and you eventually leave the Sunsteel Ward. And allow me to just switch my music. You make your way back into the Magnolia Promenade, the heavy presence of the caravan no longer surrounding you. And you arrive at New Arcadia Square. The Crossroads, your hotel, is right in front of you. Mina holds her little straps, and it's probably 2:30, and she says, "Well, I'm glad that I was I a help?"
You were. Without you, none of this would have happened. The town would still be in danger tonight. So, thank you very much for your help.
Okay, I'm glad. Mr. LeBlanc says I should be a help, so I'm glad I'm helping. Okay, I'm gonna go do some shopping now. Bye.
You'll let Mr. LeBlanc know what happened, right?
Yeah, no, of course. I have to tell him everything. Of course. Yeah, no, I will. 100%.
All right. Well, stay safe, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Okay, bye. And you see she turns, and then just the massive backpack kind of swaying as she steps away back to Sylvie and Avantris. Well before any of this happens, you are flying on the broom, invisible over the skies of Ogway. That afternoon sun kind of blazing down a little bit. Despite it being winter, it is still quite pleasant. You soar over the Sunsteel district. You see the occasional Aarakocra flying, kind of observing the ward below you. As you make your way, you fly over the Magnolia Promenade, you make your way to the river, you see that enormous riverboat, Hungry Catfish. What are you guys doing?
I'll turn to Sylvie and say, I don't really know how we're going to get the corpse in there without everyone noticing. I mean, it's still early, so maybe the catfish isn't very busy or not quite open yet, and maybe we can just get one of the bullywugs to fetch Garou for us.
Yeah, that's probably the best bet. The other one is we fly around the top of the riverboat and we knock on all the windows until someone pays attention to us.
That might be... Let's try the bullywugs first.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a better one. I'll drop the invisibility once we get down there.
Okay, so you circle down and down and down. You land on the lower deck, I assume, the primary deck of the boat.
Yeah.
And you see a number of bullywug guards, and you're invisible. You land on the deck, and you drop invisibility.
I do.
And as soon as you do that, you see the bullywug, and then you see them pointing towards one of the many gambling halls, like.
So he's expecting us.
He's trying to get you guys to just gamble. He doesn't really care how you got here.
No, we're looking for Mr. Garou. It's very important. It's urgent. He's not on the premise. He's not in his office. Can you please just take us to Mr. Garou? It is urgent. I cannot stress that enough.
Make a persuasion check. And he raises a thick green finger, and he makes his way off. You've waited probably about 15-20 minutes, and the same bullywug walks back down in that same familiar kind of very overly dressed purple three-piece suit, tall top hat, all of them, and it returns and he or she, you don't know, and leads you.
All right, we'll follow.
Second deck, third deck, fourth deck, through the lounge, and that same familiar quaint bar where Garou had joined you for a drink, that same familiar black door with the hallway to his office. Bullywug goes in, unlocks it, lets you in. Make your way down the hallway. You see that same familiar door. 3 knocks.
Oh, little man.
Opens the door. Kind of seems a little bit nervous as the boy opens the door and beckons you in.
We go in.
Hello, Guru.
Okay, so you make your way in. The door closes behind you. You see Guru in his casual outfit. You've seen this once before. Twice before, Avantris. Kind of once before in kind of almost like fishing gear, suspenders, simple slacks, and a wide-brimmed leather hat. Just kind of poring over a number of documents on his desk. And as you enter the room, are you carrying Taiki?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have put her down. There's nowhere to leave her.
So you got a number of eyes as you were kind of carrying this. She was kind of wrapped up, but a strange shaped and sized package like this is definitely a little bit odd. You got a few looks. But as you step in, Guru kind of leans back and kind of takes a glass, and it seems to have some kind of melted ice in it. And he looks at both of you, and then he looks at the package, and there's a moment where it's very difficult to read his face. And then he kind of...
Is that what I think it is?
Well, Sylvie, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. What do you think it is? And now you can go ahead, Avantris. I just really want to say that.
I suppose it is what you think it is. I'll say that we got lucky, and we didn't need the mirror because we found her during the daylight. But we thought it was best that we bring you proof that she was vanquished. And then the only thing that I ask is if the corpse isn't a danger to anyone, that we give her a proper burial.
Yeah, we were invisible the entire way here, so there's that. Utmost secrecy for butterflies, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I appreciate your discretion. I truly do. I would have hated for this to spread like a wildfire. But the fact that y'all got so lucky is a tad perplexing. Let's see her.
And he stands up, kicks his chair back, and walks around.
Y'all want a drink, by the way? I apologize for my ill manners. It is not the Agwe way.
No, thank you. Not me.
No,
Thanks.
thank you. I tend not to drink one in mourning.
Now what are y'all mourning, darling? Still
The
your
loss of
grandmammy?
No, the loss of a friend.
Oh. Well, a vampire ain't no friend. I don't know.
But a Taiki was.
That may be so. Let's see her.
I'll lay her down and unwrap the cloth.
Well, sweet Eldath. Y'all done fried her like a piece of bacon in a frying pan.
To be fair, that wasn't us. Again, we got a little lucky. There appeared to be a trap door in the barn where we found her, and it was opened, and she was cooked alive almost instantly.
He'd since, as he was kind of watching, he went and refilled his drink, and he stopped.
But she got cooked by a trap door. Not by the 4 of you heroes. Did the other 2 of you die?
No.
No, they're fine.
Yeah, they just walk. And I like to fly.
Y'all survived.
Yeah.
Y'all cooked a vampire.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't do that. Do you know who did?
No.
Wait, what do you mean we didn't do that?
Y'all told me that it wasn't you. Trap door opened up. Who caused the trap door?
Well, I never said that we didn't open the trap door. I just mentioned that there was a trap door and it was opened. And she was cooked alive.
No, but I mentioned that it wasn't us.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I've been a good
In my old age, and my hearing may be going in and out.
Oh, it must be my hearing then. I apologize.
Yeah, but we don't know.
I would have blamed it on the whiskey.
We don't know. At all. But it's like fine, you know, because now there are no more butterflies in Ogway, so Problem solved. Emma, right?
You see him walk around, those tall black boots, kind of giving a heavy thud after every single step, almost like reverberates through the office as he towers even over you, Avantris, in his height, and he gives Tyche a little kick.
Hey.
This is a monster laying at my feet, darling. I apologize that she is a friend, allegedly. But she is also an employee, former employee, and a thief of mine. Y'all must understand that we businessmen must take all of our property seriously.
Well, I would hope you would understand that what she did in life, we're not justifying, but that doesn't change where the place she holds in our hearts in her death. And I don't appreciate you kicking her. If your bullywug did me wrong in life, I wouldn't kick him.
Well, he could, and I wouldn't judge you any worse.
Well then,
They're made to be kicked around, darling.
well, my friends are not.
Well,
And we did you a solid by making sure that we went after her. And it may be by pure luck. I mean, Avantris' middle name is Lucky Two Shoes. So it just would go to show that we would be lucky enough that the vampire would fall at our feet. But at the end of the day, she is our friend. And if you have any respect for us, then you will respect the dead body of our friend. And now that she is harmless to everyone, you will let us provide her a proper burial.
Make a persuasion check.
This is the third 2 I rolled tonight. BD dubs. 11.
Licks the top of his bottom of his top teeth. He crouches down. With a large tanned hand, he grabs her skull. Forces the jaw open. And takes a good look at the exposed fangs of the withered skull-like face. Closes it back up.
now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, cause that was the nature of our agreement. I may be a lot of fucking things, but I am a man of my word. I was gonna feed this bitch to Mars Gators. But y'all gonna do something and you can swear on your life, and the lives of your 2 little friends, that she ain't gonna rise out of the grave with a streak of vengeance in her heart. You can do what you will.
Yeah, sure. I swear it on my life, and especially Rodex. I offer him up as the first sacrifice should any of this go wrong, and you can let out all of your grotesque and vile, things out on his poor, mutilated dwarf body, and then the rest of us will go after.
Avantris, how about you?
I think that's fine. Listen, we've done everything you've asked us to do so far, and I think that we've upheld our end of the bargain, and I appreciate you allowing us to give my friend a proper burial. And I'm only going to tell you this because I think that it may be relevant, and I appreciate your honesty, and I hope that you are being honest and saying that you've been honest so far. She told us that she couldn't remember who did this to her, but that she was promised that there was a cure, and you said there was no cure. So I'm going to ask you one more time if you know anything about a cure for this, or who may be involved. And if I find out in any way that you're involved with this, I'm coming back for you.
He been crouching, looking up at you. He had taken his hat off as he observed it, puts it back on, straightens it a little bit, kind of the wide brim casting some shadow over his face. He stands up a good 4 or 5 inches taller than you, Avantris, and he looks down at you.
Any son of a bitch what says he knows how to cure whatever the fuck she was is a liar. That there is a monster. That there is dead. She was dead before she got fried. You understand that, boy? Before she got sizzled like a delicious fried catfish. She was already dead. Lost. You understand that, boy? And there ain't nothing that can undo that. You can undo and have her move around and walk and trick you and me like she did. But what she was, it wasn't even your granny buried in your fucking family's plot of dirt. Her soul was long gone. I don't even know if the gods could undo that. And if I'm a liar, then well, at least everyone gets one. If I remember correctly, the night that we met, y'all said you didn't find nothing interesting up in those Viridian Hills. And I gave y'all the benefit of the doubt. And I know y'all lied to me. And I ain't coming in here making threats for lying to me. And I can promise you, boy, I can make lies and make threats far more potent than you can.
Wait a minute. Are you sitting here trying to say that them lying to you the day that they met you equates to you lying to us when we're flying around your town, cleaning up your messes and dealing with your shit? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you really equating those two things? I must be on fucking crazy pills. Is this the goddamn Twilight Zone? I want to help you. I do.
It may
but
or
you're
may
sure
not
being a
be,
piece
darling.
of shit right now.
I'm trying to remind this boy here.
And I'm trying to remind you, you were equating something that happened a year ago with two people you didn't even know to what we're doing for you now. Show some respect. Show some thanks, for Christ's sake. We're trying to help you with something, and if you're lying to us, then you will pay.
What reason do I have to lie? If I knew there was a cure, I would find it
Then
and I would
just
administer
say
it.
that to him and stop being a prick.
Well, if I don't take kindly to threats on my own
Well, and
fucking
I don't take
riverbed,
kindly to threats to my friends.
well, I appreciate your camaraderie.
Loyalty means everything. You will knock it off.
I understand that. And to me, family means everything. Loyalty means everything. And y'all got a family. When I was up on that boat up on the river, I was looking for my family too, and I didn't ever find it.
And
if
we
y'all-
didn't either.
And if y'all found a new family, that is very good for you. But I'm telling you, I will have no more threats. I will have no more implications that I know how I could have prevented what the fuck happened to your friend. I don't know who told her that there was a cure. I have no idea why she thought that there was one. And I know a thing or two. I got friends in very powerful places, Don. Trust me on that one. If there was, I think I would know. And I'm telling you there ain't. Now, there ain't gonna be no more threats.
The same sentiment goes to you. We've helped you.
You have!
And we will continue to help you, as long as there is mutual respect.
And I appreciate
you
that.
You think that I should be worried about your friends? I want you to take a look. This is just the two of us. You, if you continue down this path, might want to be worried about mine. And with that, we're done, Mr. Guru.
And I look at Vandris and I kind of ask him permission with every intention of dimension dooring out of here with Taiki's body, if we can.
That remains to be seen, darling. You take that girl and you make sure she's good and truly dead.
I'll wrap her up as they're talking and scoop her up.
As you're getting,
Because I'm trying to do it before he can get in another word.
as you're getting around, he tips his hat.
Good day.
And you blink out. You dimension door through what's the range on that? 300 feet?
300 feet.
300 feet. So we'll say you dimension door out onto the street. People are like, ah! Like, as you're kind of just apparating in the center of the Magnolia Promenade off of the Hungry Catfish.
Oh God, Avantris, I'm so sorry. I got really worked up, but he like kicked her, and he was poking her fangs, and I was thinking about what I would do if someone did that to Aniel, and if she turned into a Dracula, because I really love her, and then I thought about you, and if he was kicking you, and what you would do if he was kicking me, because you'd probably burn the whole place down like you did Rivington Manor, and I just got all in my emotions and stuff, and I'm so sorry. I might have fucked that up.
It's okay. No, it's fine. I let my temper get the best of me too, but I want him to know that we're not scared of him.
No, he's being a dick.
The shit that we've seen, we're not scared of him, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this, and Rodek's probably gonna be pissed at us, but.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely gonna be pissed at us. I think that we should maybe lie about what happened, and maybe say that like Guru was really happy, and we all wore like footy pajamas and had a slumber party and ate popcorn.
I don't think lying is a good plan, but,
yeah,
but I meant what I said. We're gonna get to the bottom of this, and what I saw in there the other day was some serious shit. And if this leads back to him, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him, and nothing will stop me.
Well, this is why you are the person on that card. You have a purpose, my friend. And it's the death of anyone that gets in your way, that's for sure. And I am definitely a temptress with my beautiful eyes and my long locks and my voluptuous body. So with that, we're the cards. Anyway, we should find our friends, I think.
Let's head back to the inn.
And I owe you a night of footy pajamas and popcorn for that emotional outburst there.
Okay, we can discuss that.
With the whole gang, though, not just the two of us.
Oh, sure. All right, that sounds great.
Okay, cool.
And we'll head back to the inn, I guess, to meet up with the friends.
Rodek and Aniel, what have you been doing this time? You probably actually haven't been back that long, but what are you going to plan on doing?
Would that have happened?
That could have happened probably in the time it taken
We
you
probably
to get back.
I would have thought
back
that
at the
we
same
would be
time.
getting back at, because you said it would take like an hour or two.
Oh
right?
yeah, so you were getting back at the same time.
Okay.
You're like, wow, what are the chances? It's almost like this is a game.
Or we
Isn't
can
that-
say like we
We'll
just
say you
got
get back at the same
back.
time. You've just gotten back. You
drinks
see
or something.
Anielin and Rodek kind of checking in. They're like, oh man, now we're tired. That's what you got.
Hi, guys.
And I grab
hello.
Vandris and I push him in front of me.
Rodek, Vandris has something to tell you.
Oh no.
All right. Well, he told us that if we could
Maybe we should do it in the room. Are we
What?
in the room? Are we outside or in the
You,
room?
Rodek pushes everyone up the stairs into the room. You're in your suite.
I just sat down, but
For clarification.
he let us know that if we can promise that there's no way that she'll come back again, that we can bury her normally, and again we promised him that she wouldn't, but I don't know that for sure. I mean she seems pretty dead. I don't think there's any chance that she'll come back, so I suppose that we could just normally bury her, but I'm gonna let you know tensions got a little high in there.
Yeah,
And
Vandris
said
was...
some things that we may not have, and we upset him, I think.
Yeah.
wait, you two.
No,
I
it
know
was...
he gets angry, but
Yeah, no, it was all Vandris. He just flew off the handle and he started just yelling at him, and he called him like a jerk, and he told him to shut the F up, and he dropped tons of F-bombs, and he called him a little bitch,
To be fair,
and then he slapped him across the face.
I will take blame for what happened. I didn't yell, no one yelled. We certainly did not make physical contact with Mr. Guru. But I wanted him to know that we're not scared of him. And I think that he's connected this somehow. And if I find out that he's been lying to us, I already told Sylvia I meant what I said, and I'm going to kill him, whether you help me or not.
Okay, I lied.
I'm going to
Vandris
play
didn't
ball
do
for
it.
now, and I'm not going to make him an enemy unless we have to, but there's something is fishy here, and based on the things that we saw the other day, that I saw the other day and told you guys about, I'm telling you, something's not right.
Yeah, and so, to be fair, we did both yell at him. It wasn't Vandris. I felt really bad about it, and I was feeling sick in my stomach for like the 2 minutes where I was lying to you, so that's the truth, sorry. Yep.
I rubbed my beard mustache a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't cast any spells though, Adam Rodek. I didn't polymorph him.
Did you cast any spells at all?
No, and I didn't polymorph him or anything out of vengeance like I did to you. I'm learning.
Dimension doored out of his office back
Yeah.
onto the street.
Yeah, I was really mad. So so I did cast that one spell, but it was fine.
Do I need to remind both of you that we can say we're not scared of him and that we could walk up and kill him, but
we know that he has these little doll things that can instantly kill people.
Yeah, and
allegedly.
honestly, with some of the things that I said to him, if he had a doll of me, he would have stabbed it in the heart. So, I think that's like proof, 100%, that he doesn't have one of me.
Was he grateful that we
Oh, no.
killed the vampire?
No, he's not
No,
grateful
he was
for
a
anything.
pompous asshole.
Yeah, per usual. You know?
But he walks around like he is untouchable. And
Who does he think he is, Avantris? No. Right? Am I
But
right,
he might
Avantris?
be untouchable. We don't know what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
And
it's
pissing him off? Maybe he was our only ally. Maybe Alphonse is the real villain. I just told you guys
Yeah, I know.
that I think Alphonse is responsible.
I
Yeah.
think Alphonse is responsible too. But I'm telling you,
So
the shit
now
that this guy is up to is not normal. And it's not good.
I agree. We don't know what's good, but
So...
I apologize for losing my cool.
Yeah,
And I'm
me
only
too.
telling you because I think that I should be honest about it. But I don't regret it at all.
No, me either, because at the end of the day, he needs to know that we have done him like a real solid, you know, Rodak. And so, I didn't polymorph him, I didn't punch him in his wiener, I didn't do anything I would normally do when I get that mad.
all right. No, that's
I just yelled
that's
at him
fine.
forcefully with like all of my me.
I should have expected this, sending
Yeah.
you two to handle it alone.
What do you mean? Vandris
that's
and I are the
fine.
most capable people in this entire party. He's literally the captain of the party.
I second, we are definitely the
Yeah,
most capable.
he's the captain of he's the king of the party and I'm the queen.
Did you see Aniel unlock that door? Isn't that right?
The thing was basically rusted off. I could have kicked the double. Why are we
This is
talking about this?
ridiculous.
Listen, I don't know where I can bury her. I don't know if in the cemetery is okay, if that's a sacred thing. But I'm gonna take care of this one way or another. And then why don't we everybody ruminate on what we should do next and let me know. We have several options, whether it be confronting Alphonse head on or going to find this Madame Zofstra.
Yeah.
But either way, I will take care of Tyche's corpse.
Do you think it might be a good idea to bury her at sea?
Well, wait, does she have any family?
I don't know. It's been so long, and my guess would be not. If she was going to run away from Gullhaven like that because she was worried about debt, she certainly probably didn't worry about any family. I mean, none of us really had any family. I mean, that's why we started working together in the first place. But I can't be certain.
Well, she might not have cared about family, but her family might have cared about her.
I don't even know how to go about finding them, to be honest with you. I don't know if she was originally from Gullhaven, or if she ran away and like I did, and we all just met up there. Who knows?
This
And
might
would you really think her parents would want to see her like this? Her family would want to see her like this?
No, but they might want to know that she's dead.
Yeah. Well, this might seem a little macabre, macabre, macabre. But what if we, because Dracula's, what if we burnt her to smithereens? Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Sylvie, that's terrible, but hold on. Let me finish. What if we burnt her to smithereens and turned her into dust, and then we put her in like a little necklace or something, and we took her back to her family, which would be Seamus and Forgus and the group, and she can have a place somewhere in our home forever. I know.
Seamus might know where to find her family. I suppose, we could keep her ashes in our home if that would be what she'd want. I don't really know what she'd want, honestly.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just my thought. I don't like to get macabre.
I think that's a fine idea. We can reach out to Seamus and maybe he'd know where her family is, and if not, then we can keep her remains as a way to preserve her memory, I suppose.
Well, did he make it sound like it was possible that she could come back from this?
I don't know if he made it sound like it was possible, but he was concerned. He didn't specifically say this was a thing that might happen. He wanted us to assure him that it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Could you, Sylvie?
What?
How many scrolls of Speak with Dead did you buy?
Just the one? Aha!
Do you think they have more?
My guess is no.
Perhaps we keep her in our room for now.
And plus, it's not speak with undead, it's speak with dead.
I think if we can try, it's worth a
She's
shot.
technically been dead for probably quite some time.
Again, if we don't want to try to speak with her and at least ask who told her there was a cure, but that would be an invaluable piece of information in all this.
Gotta be honest, if we're going that route, I'm not comfortable with it, and I'm gonna have to leave that to you guys.
And that's fair, and perhaps we just strike it from our minds.
I think that, listen, right now, my friends and family are gone. You guys are all that I have. You know, Seamus is really all that I have as well. I want to get to the bottom of this, and that's the most important thing to me right now, is figuring out what happened to her and who did this, and you know, delivering justice. I don't even want to say seeking revenge, but getting to the bottom of this, and I'm not going to impede that. So if that's the direction we want to take this, then fine, but I'm going to have to ask you guys to take care of that.
Do we have any Amiria, has she gotten here yet?
I haven't heard from her.
It's been a while. We haven't heard from Amiria, have we?
Our boat's really fast.
Don't you
I
think...
mean, we sent her correspondence to let her know where we are, correct?
Yeah.
So she's aware, at least, if she received them.
Lumi went and came back and she didn't tell me anything weird, so...
You know that your galleon is absurdly fast and has a very experienced crew. Amir was basically a jalopy with a ragtag group of crocodiles.
And we've only been in Agwe for how... We haven't been
A week,
here that
maybe.
long, right?
Probably like a week.
Yeah, I would say not even a
Not
week,
even a week.
but
Probably not even.
roughly a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Why don't we keep her in the room, safe and sound, in case she happens to get reanimated tonight because of the moon or the night or whatever. We'll be around. We can keep an eye on her, and then maybe we'll just have Amiria take her body back. And then she can take it, and then she and Seamus and whoever else can, if she has family, you know, they can bury her there. I mean, does it make sense to bury her in a swamp where she fled to?
No, you're probably right. I think that's a fine plan either way. Whether we cremate her ultimately, or we try to speak with her, or we just send her, you know, taking her back to Gullhaven is a good idea, and I think that both of you are have had. It's a good idea. I appreciate it.
Speaking of Amiria, how is she going to handle finding out that yet another one of her very close friends is dead and Avantris was there?
She'll probably blame me, punch me in the face. I'll be ready for it this time, I suppose. 4 times the charm, you know, all that.
Yeah, 4. That was only 2. 1, 2. Oh god, Rodak, I think we're the other 2 he's talking about. Oh well.
Well, I need to write a letter to Guru,
Who corresponds with you?
just to let him know that we're still fine, and that it was an emotional day.
God, you're such a kiss ass.
I'm not a
Rodak.
kiss ass.
No, that's kind of what a kiss ass would do.
I don't want to burn any bridges we have here.
I don't want to
It
bring
could be
any
very
reason.
dangerous. All right,
It was kind
I'm
of
going downstairs.
It was kind of funny though, right? I knew it.
Okay, Rodak he stomps off. An
Oh, damn it.
angry muttering dwarf stomping down the stairs. Rodak, what are you doing?
I just want to get paper from the front desk.
They
Just
have
spend a
plenty
bit
of
letter,
that.
Just wanted to sort of just chat, Mr. Guru, this is, I guess I'd sign Rodak. I would say, I want to make sure that, you know that from all 4 of us, that, we've defeated the vampire. We should, Agwe should be safe. It was a very emotional day, so I apologize if any offense was taken earlier in the day. But just that, we're still staying at the crossroads, and that, if there's anything else that he needs or that, he wants to discuss with us, given the situation, he can always write us, that kind of thing.
I can't wait to kiss your butt cheeks in person.
You
I think
finish
that's
the
fair.
letter, you have it sent out to the catfish. And that's it. We'll say it costs you 2 copper pieces. Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? I will mark off for 2 copper pieces.
Great. Rodok arrives back at the room.
I arrive back at the room. Alright, who knows what good that'll do. But
Well, you know, who knows?
I just don't want to...
Maybe he'll invite you over for a slumber party.
Here's the thing. I don't trust Alphonse at all. I truly think he's behind this.
Yeah?
And the enemy of our enemy is our friend, is what they say, right?
So, that I think could be something that people say and holds weight if the enemy of your enemy or your friend, if Guru weren't like spinning roulette wheels with like skull face guys and talking about
Right.
insanity and probably and like poking pins in dolls and killing, like hurting people. So yeah, I think that we just happen to have 2 enemies right now, and that you should be aware of that.
How do we feel? And I keep throwing this out there, and you guys keep throwing it right back, and understandably. How do we feel about just going to Alphonse and letting him know there's a demon who's got his number?
I like it.
I mean...
Do we want to take a look for the Madame Zofstra?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
I
mean-
can't remember her name. I wrote it down. Zofstra first, and then
Yeah, well-
but I'm saying when we run out of ideas, when we run out of hints and clues to chase down, maybe we just go to the source and say, look, man, we got a message for you from some otherworldly being, and he feels evil, man.
So this is my thought process, right? We don't really have anything to do until Lumi comes back and says whether my sister knows where Madame Zostra is or not.
Suddenly,
Correct.
But, so while we're waiting for that, we should talk about that. And, what I think is that we say, hey, we appreciate you leading us to the Dracula. We were able to quell that threat. And in repayment for that, we thought we'd let you know we have heard of a demon or devil or something, who is, wants you to stop licking his cup. Thoughts?
I mean, I would let him know we met the demon and that we're delivering the message personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's fine. At some point, we guess push comes to pull, something's got to give, and at some
What's the
point we have to
harmony?
confront Alphonse.
I would say if Madame Zostra is indeed still alive and in Ogway, we go to her first.
So she was old
Learn
and
what we can.
rickety, her clacking bones. The likelihood is very slim.
Clacky, alright, well,
Yeah.
let's hold off. I'm sure once Nina updates Alphonse on what happened, I'm sure we'll hear from him. He'll probably invite us over, or at least we'll see him somewhere. So I think we have time to figure that out. And I think we may want to adjust our approach if we can learn something about these cars.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Suddenly, Lumi zaps back into the personhood and whispers in your ear that everyone knows Madame Zostra. She is the magic woman of Ogway. And she is back out behind the True Blue Rue. Super 8.
True Blue Rue.
In the Magnolia Promenade. In an alley.
Yeah, she's in a creepy old alley in the Magnolia Promenade.
Probably not good for her rickety old bones.
Probably not, but at least she's not so far from the soup kitchen. It's probably why she's set up there.
So, it's extremely fortunate that she's still alive in
I
here.
think you mean fortuitous.
And fortuitous, either way.
Sure.
Some might even say it's serendipitous.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down in my book.
And I pull out a book called Words, and I write it down and put it in my pack.
Alright, well, shall we go pay her a visit? It's still early.
Well, I don't see why not.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah,
she could read
can we-
Tarot cards again.
Can we leave Lumi with Taiki's remains?
Yeah, because she was kind of, yeah, she lied to me about the bard thing, so she can stay with that. The dead stuff, for sure.
Alright,
Okay.
let's go.
So, you make your way out into the street. It's mid-afternoon, sun is setting, But you make your way through the Magnolia Promenade. It's a little bit up towards the bayou, away from the harbor, the primary harbor. And you're weaving through towns, passing lounges, restaurants, the smell of the spices of the Agwe cooking, and the sweet shops and everything. There's so many knick-knack shops. There are many magic shops. So if you kind of peek your head in and you're like, this isn't fucking magic. These are a bunch of shops. It's about as magic as
parlor tricks.
As Dr. Etouffee and his scroll of demon. Scroll of summon demon.
I was tricked.
And, I mean, it is an actual magic scroll that he sold you, but there's a lot of components. And so you're making your way through, and you eventually see a sign that says the True Blue Roux. Big old cooking pot. Steam marks.
Well, it's
rising up.
It's gotta be behind this.
And you kind of see as you turn the corner, smell of stew in your nostrils, you realize that there's an alleyway in between this and a tailor shop that's right across the street. And as you eventually turn down this alley nestled between the soupery and a tailor shop, both buildings have residential space above them.
Music change.
This is going to be music change, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh shit. 10 times 10.
I've been drinking.
Do you want more? I can make more.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Both buildings have residential space above them, sending multiple floors stacking to the sky, casting that afternoon shadow over the narrow pathway ahead of you. The smell of rich, hearty stew is almost enchanting as you pass the back door of the kitchen of the True Blue Roux, and you notice a structure, if you could call it that, at the back, the end of this alley, that you might have missed in the shadow of the near sunset, had you not been looking. In front of you sits a modestly sized and exotically shaped tent made of silver-colored cloth. Thick ropes run from anchored pegs to give the tent its form as white tassels hang down from its steepled top and drape over its oblong entrance. A tall, vertically standing chalkboard sign is propped up to the right of the door, which has a rolled-down door flap. The sign bears the mark of an open eye within a crystal ball. Written on the sign in that same elegant silver writing is Madame Zostra's Emporium of Mysterium. As you draw nearer, you now notice there's a smaller sign, wooden sign hanging from the front of the tent. As you get closer, you realize that it's written in common. Close today, back tomorrow at dark.
Classic. Didn't anyone check the Googles to see if this place was open?
I dropped to my knees and screamed impotently at the sky.
Well, I did check the Google, but it said Thanksgiving may affect these hours.
Shit!
I should have called ahead. I'm sorry.
Damn it. Okay, well, should we go by LeBlanc's and tell him that a devil wants his body?
So here's the thing,
Sure.
and maybe we can do this tonight or later on. I think we need to go back to where we fought Taiki,
Ooh.
and just try to do any kind of investigating.
Ooh.
Look for tracks. Look for any kind of evidence of who. I mean, clearly that trap door, it almost seemed planned. So we may be able to find some kind of evidence related to who that devil was.
I don't know why you think those two things would be related. Baron Samedi and the weird Stitchy monster and a very sexual pink lady?
I'm not saying they're related, but I'm saying
Do you
that...
think that Baron Samedi, if he takes off the clothes, is a pink, very sexual lady?
No, and that's why I think Baron Samedi and Guru are obviously in cahoots. And I believe personally, I believe that Alphonse is dealing with devils in some way.
Okay. But we know that Alphonse and Guru are oppositions.
Right.
And we know that Guru is the Samity and Alphonse is the devil, so I don't think they're connected.
No, I think that's why they don't like each other. So my point is
Yeah,
that...
because they think that they're not working with each other, and I think that the devils that are having something to do with Alphonse are fighting with the Samity, and the Samity is fighting with the devils, and so that is my thought.
Anyway, we can come back tomorrow at dark.
Okay. I don't think anyone was saying we weren't going to do that.
Right, I'm just saying that I think eventually, maybe tonight when it's dark out, so we're not walking back in where all these creepy, shifty dragonborn are eyeing us up and down. We come back in the night, maybe sneak in a little bit, maybe Avantris flies in as a bat, takes a look around.
Avantris doesn't want anything to do with
Yeah,
butterflies.
that's not going to happen.
Oh, right. Because they don't know that it's dead. Right. Well, how about this? Let's eat some gumbo.
I think that sounds like that's the best idea you've had. And I think that is the one that is going to get us the most answers.
I agree.
And then you can write another letter to Guru and say, would you like to have a slumber party? I'm going to go buy a special best friend pajamas and I will rub your feet. And then you could spend all night with Guru and we'll just chill out and drink until we have our cards read tomorrow. What do you think?
No, I think that's fine. I think maybe we just relax until sundown and then maybe we can go back and investigate the Sunsteel Ward, or we just wait until tomorrow.
I will honestly do whatever. I'm just fucking with you, Rodak.
All right.
It's really funny when you get
I
frustrated.
turn around and I walk to the soup.
Okay,
Super
so
eight.
you make your way into the True Blue Roux, in which the music turns back to the Magnolia Promenade playlist. And you suddenly hear jazz again. Suddenly there's this kind of strange, eerie music, and all of a sudden as you step back into the street, jazz. And you step back into the True Blue Roux. They have...
And it's 9:22, just so that...
Yeah. They have like 52 soups on the menu, and you all decide to chow down and have a meal. And as we eat, we'll do the giveaway.
Okay.
Oh.
That sounds great. We're doing
Yay!
the giveaway.
Giveaway.
So, what should the word be?
If you were in chat
Soup.
and you are one of our followers,
Soup.
you have a chance to win something from us. This is a custom leather dice bag that I make. And so you roll it in here.
Dice tray.
Dice tray, that's what I said. I got a natural 14.
Free
You
shit.
can't see it, but I did. It's a leather dice tray. You could also do the foldy one if you want to. That's what this one is. It snaps at the corner and becomes a dice tray. And then a patch of your choice. It is a iron-on patch, so you take the backing off, stick it to whatever you want, and iron it on.
So do ! soup to join, and you'll join because the town, the party is eating soup.
So yeah, anybody that's watching and
Yeah.
wants to join, type !soup. All you have to do is be following us, and you have a chance to win.
Yeah.
If I screw up the thing, you can just remove me. I
That's
just wanted
fine.
to try it.
That's fine.
So why don't we do the drawing? We'll start entering while you're eating soup. We'll
Okay.
get to a next transition, and then we'll do the drawing. How
Sure,
about
we'll
that,
give everybody a
ladies
few
and gentlemen?
minutes to enter.
Tell your friends to join. It's pretty good shit, and there's soup involved. So, I mean, you really can't beat that. Okay, so you all enjoy a delicious variety of gumbos and etouffees and all these different soups, and you actually kind of realize that the chef has kind of been drawing from inspiration of not just the local Agwe natives, but also from the Yulongese and the Nekbetian immigrants. And so there's some flavors from Yulong, and there's some flavors from Nekbet, and it's for all of these different areas in the world, and a soup for every area. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Follow Josh
Follow
Bell.
Josh Bell
The
56.
Josh Bell.
Josh
good luck.
56.
Oh, welcome
Thank you,
everyone.
Valantha.
Wow, welcome everyone.
Oh, that's great.
Josh
Thank you.
Bell, Valantha. So, you all enjoy a very hearty meal. We'll say it costs, probably, we'll say 4 silver with a few drinks and some soup for everyone.
God, I'm hungry too.
4 silver pieces.
My one is cheese soup. Hot cheese soup.
So Vandris has this big bowl, this goopy hot cheese soup, and he's just fucking pounding that shit.
I want chowder
I
in a
want it in
bowl.
real life, man.
Let me get a bowl of that there gumbo.
Can I get it? Can I get it in a bread bowl?
Yep. Can you get it in a bread bowl?
Yes.
Need it
in a bread
an
bowl.
Alligator brings it. I hope y'all like this. This is good stuff. And then he drops it down, and you all get a bread bowl and the like, and so you're all enjoying.
Do you have ramen from my favorite cartoon, Naruto?
And he says, you know what? I actually do have some soup like that from Inari, so I will get you some, darling. And he
actually has.
He has some Super Minari, you don't know.
Yeah, good.
And he has something similar to ramen, I guess. He's, you know.
Ramen is Watashi's favorite.
Bento boxes, no, none of that shit. He considers himself a worldly gator. So, you know what? It should have been Flavor Town, but, never mind. That's for another day. And so you all eat a hearty meal. The sun has set. It's into the evening now. We'll say you guys kill a couple hours there, just drinking, enjoying. You just murdered a former friend of yours who actually was very evil and a horrible nightmare zombie monster. So you guys probably just need to take a bit to kind of just pour your sorrows into soup and alcohol. Add on another 3 silver for alcohol that you consume.
Oh, they serve booze. Yeah,
they serve booze. Of course they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so you're all consuming. And, okay.
Well, before this goes any further, I feel like we need to get on the same page, because Rhoda keeps saying that you trust Guru over Alphonse?
Let me clarify, I don't. But we know a lot more about Guru than we know about Alphonse. We know that they both hate each other.
Well,
I think they're both bad and they're both evil.
Yeah, but which one's more evil?
yeah.
My point is that if Alphonse ends up being the more evil one, having 2 evil guys trying to kill us is worse than having just one big bad evil guy.
So this is my thought process, right? I think that even though we have Avantris, Lucky Two Shoes, True Strike in our party, we are still very unlucky. So if we choose Guru, Alphonse will be the worst one. And if we choose Alphonse, then Guru will be the worst one. Either way, I think we're going to have to deal with it at some point or another. I think it just depends on which one we choose to align with. And for the first time, you can catch this on record. I'm picking Alphonse because he's at least nice to us. He came and he clapped for the show that I wrote. He had dinner with us. He's always cordial. And he smells really great. He's the only person that hangs out with us that can, the smell of him smelling amazing drowns out the smell of you smelling like you. And so it's really awesome. And Guru is none of those things.
Guru's a jerk.
Yeah.
And why would Alphonse lead us right to a vampire if he was the one behind it?
Yeah, if he wanted to, trick me and then cause me to trust him so that he could then get in under my skin and really go for the gut, which would actually be working, so it would be very clever, and I couldn't fault him for being very smart, should that be the case.
Well, I'm not saying that Alphonse is the one that turned her into a vampire, but I'm saying that Alphonse is in league or something. Perhaps, potentially. I don't know. We have no idea, but it's
with
possible.
What? In league with what?
With that devil thing that opened the door that killed her. She clearly didn't want us getting more information from Taiki.
Okay, but look, that devil thing or demon thing or whatever is obviously then in league with the one that we helped when we helped Matthias. So does that not make Alphonse kind of on the same level as we are? We helped him just the same.
My point is we don't know enough right now to pick sides. That's my point.
I can say with certainty, as he was my husband and also Santa Claus, that Matthias would want us to side with Alphonse.
I would have to go with Rodek on this one. It's tough for me to say that I don't have enough of a clear head to be able to really make decisions here, but I don't trust either one of them as far as I can throw them.
I can't believe I'm sitting here sharing a bread bowl of soup with you two. You've lost your mind.
Me too. I've also lost my mind, but also agree with you, Annulin. You were talking about the boys, right?
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, phew.
You my girl.
Okay, good.
Well, look, I'm just trying to keep our options open, that's all. And I'm not giving any kind of doing any moral judgment. I'm not trying to say Guru's a good guy, or he's our friend, or that we want to be friends with him. Or I'm not saying that Alphonse is necessarily evil or that he's the bad guy. Alphonse may end up being an ally. I don't expect that. But my point is that until we learn more, it would be very foolish to jump in and just say, Guru, we're going to stop you, and Alphonse is going to help us, and we're going to bring you down.
I don't think
Or
anybody
kill
said
him.
that, though.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, but I mean, you've been awfully loose-lipped. I mean, I think it's weird that we took Taiki to him. We didn't even consider just hiding it, you know? We don't have to, like, tell him everything.
Can't hide things from Guru. We know the amount of magical power that this person has is immeasurable at this point. We don't even know how extreme it is. We already know that we've tried to be sneaky and it doesn't work, and you know how much I hate to be forthcoming about all of this, but when we're in this role that we're in right now, playing these heroes for hire, we had to be straightforward, and we were specifically sent out to deal with the vampire, and we did. There was no way we were going to hide that from him. And again, you think I liked bringing my friend's corpse to him and watch him kick her while she's dead, laying there on the floor undignified? I didn't like that at all, but we didn't have a choice, and that's why I'm saying we're going to get to the bottom of this and figure it out. But I'd appreciate it if you didn't call me crazy and say that I've lost my mind, because all I'm trying to do here, and I think we're all trying to do this, is carefully navigate our way through these trying times and figure out what's actually going on, because none of us have any idea. We're so lost, and I felt lost since we stepped foot in this city.
Yeah, but we always have a choice. You can say that we didn't have a choice, but we do. There's always a choice, and you made the choice to go to him. You didn't think about doing anything else. And you did go watch there, and you watched him kick her, and he's still breathing. That was your choice.
Careful, Anulin.
No, but Amulin is correct, and I won't call you crazy or say you've lost your mind. I'll say I think that you're insane and you may have misplaced your brain. And so with that, I will say, however, that we do have a choice, and that's what I'm talking about. We're choosing to say, okay, well, we'll just do whatever Guru wants and stay on his good side and just not trust Alphonse. And yeah, I've been the person that's been saying, like, hey, let's not trust him, he's a Dracula for the longest time. And now I'm the person saying it might not be a bad idea to talk to him, give him some information, and gauge better whether we are fighting on the right side or not.
He's been much more forthcoming than Guru. It couldn't hurt.
You know, I think your idea of going to him and telling him about the devil is a brilliant idea. It might open up dialogue, and maybe he will give us information that we've been trying to pull from Guru. Because right now, we're just making assumptions on a man that we've had very little contact with.
He just gives me a crappy vibe. I don't like him.
Yeah, I know, me either. I don't like either one of them.
And I don't like either one of them either. And I didn't mean to give that perception. I just want to keep our options open, that's all.
I wish Santa Claus were here. He always knew the right things to say.
Well, Matthias, if you're out there, give us a sign, tell us what to do. Otherwise, we'll just keep stumbling around in the dark.
May he rest in peace with Taiki.
And to Taiki as well. I didn't really know her, and she was probably a vampire the whole time I did know her.
Yeah.
But Avantris, I'm sorry you lost your friend.
Thank you.
I fear for you when you tell Amiria about it when she gets here. So.
Well, you know, it's just another day that ends in Y, and I'll handle it when it gets here.
All right. Well, Godspeed, lad.
So, what are we gonna do?
Do you wanna?
Well, are you guys finishing your meal, or you guys keep talking?
I mean, we'll just, like, you know, keep talking and drinking, eating, or whatever, but I think ultimately we, as a group, this is out of character, are we deciding that we want to go talk to him tonight, or are we deciding that we need to wait until, here's the thing, if, this is all out of character again, if we wait until, we don't do it tonight, then we have to wait until tomorrow night to talk to Madam, And then we have to wait till the next night to talk to Alphonse because we're never going to catch him during the day. So I'd almost say let's go talk to him tonight. But that's up to us as a group, I suppose.
I think... I mean, that's a fair point. I think, if we can walk up and find him... I mean, by the time we get back to our hotel, he probably already sent a letter. Already sent a letter for us.
Yeah, to be fair though, he did tell us not to come by his home. I've mentioned it on multiple occasions, and he keeps telling me, no, don't come by. And I don't know if it's because he thinks I'm a stalker, or if it's because his just overwhelming attraction to me might cause him to do something he would regret. But either way, neither one of those scenarios is great for either one of us.
Alright, well, let's relax. We'll go back to the hotel. We'll see if we've received any letters or anything, and then we can go maybe just knock on his door and see what happens.
Yeah, and if we don't do anything tonight, would that really be the worst thing in the world?
I think that's fine too.
It's been crazy.
It's, now that Taiki's gone, there's not some poor soul that's going to die.
Well, let's see. I'm still of the thought here that she wasn't the only one.
We'll see.
Things may calm down, and I certainly hope that they do, but I don't believe for a second that she was the only vampire.
I'm with
Well,
Avantris on
no,
this.
I mean, they were killing someone once a night. Let's see if anybody dies.
I think I wouldn't be shocked if no one dies tonight, but I also would be equally unshocked if someone does.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you all finish your meal, you pay the silver that I just said a while ago, and you all make your way back to the crossroads. And why don't we just do the drawing right now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
we're going to
great.
do the drawing, so get ready.
Get ready, guys.
3,
Who's going to win?
2,
3, 2, 1.
1.
Nose!
Hey!
Congrats,
Congratulations, Nose!
I'm the nose man. The nose.
Send me a message on Discord.
Discord.
And let me know whether you want the
We love
hard,
you, Nose.
whether
We
you
love you,
want
buddy.
whether you want your dice tray hard or soft, and then
Always hard. Always hard.
which patch you want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's customizable, whatever logo you want.
It
whatever
doesn't have
patch
to
you
be
want.
Avantris, but it's cute if you do.
Yay! Salty loses again. I'm sorry, buddy.
He's
We
so
love you.
mad
We do
about
love
us.
you, Daddy Misaki. No one is going to get that joke because he changed his name like 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you make your way back to the crossroads and you arrive at your room. And it is probably, you've taken the evening, you've been chatting, you've been discussing. It's probably basically kind of taking your time. It's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening at this point. What are you guys going to do?
Is there a letter? I go to the front desk, see if there's a letter for us.
You go to the front desk. You go to the front desk, and there is a letter waiting for you. It says, you get the letter. That same shimmering parchment.
Of course.
The red seal of the snake eating its own tail. The serpent eating its own tail. Shimmering wax seal. You flip it open. It says, "Dearest heroes, I knew that Mina would not let you down. And in turn, I knew that you would not let me down. It turns out that you are truly the heroes that I've heard about from Reeve, from Amalia, and from Vito. Well done. Let's have a celebratory dinner in 2 days' time. Join me at my favorite establishment, Café Commandant, 8 p.m. I'll bring my best wine."
So 8 p.m. 2 days from now.
Yeah. Yours, Alphonse.
Well, that's convenient because it means that we can basically hang out. We can go back to that soup place and get some more soup and a bread bowl tomorrow during the day if we want. And then that evening we can talk to Madame Zostra because we don't have to worry about Alphonse. And then the very next day we can deal with all that.
Honestly, I'm relieved. We can at least take a break tonight.
Yeah,
We can relax.
yeah.
tomorrow, maybe during the day, we can go back to the Sunsteel Ward and just poke around a bit.
You're
Investigate.
very nosy.
Aye, well, you've got to investigate somehow. And then tomorrow night we can enjoy another lovely dinner. And at that point, maybe that's when we let Alphonse know what we know.
I think that's fine. Tonight I'm going to, maybe take an extra long shift to make sure that nothing happens to Taiki's remains, and make sure that she's definitely at rest, hopefully for the last time.
Okay. Rest of you?
Just hanging out, doing
We'll hang out and drink and
We'll say you spend another 8 silver pieces worth of alcohol.
in our room.
Oh, I thought you were drinking the bar.
We're downstairs,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
I don't know. Did we go downstairs?
You drink at the bar in the
Yeah.
hotel room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Eight silver worth of alcohol, food, room service, whatever. And you all go to bed. Avantris, you're left alone with Taiki's body. Everyone else is asleep. And you look at your fallen comrade. And although you've experienced loss of a comrade before, you never really got to see Hissy out in the way that you've had here. And you spend the rest of the evening just watching this shriveled vampire corpse of who used to be your friend. You all enjoy the benefits of a long rest.
Dun dun.
You wake up.
Once the sun comes up and everybody is awake and we've discussed and nothing's happened, then I'll probably just take my 4 hours, since we don't have anything planned today, to meditate and get a long rest.
Sure. So Vander's taking the full watch. You guys wake up. He's going to go meditate. You guys enjoy some breakfast. You kind of enjoy some time to talk and commiserate, meet some locals. They all are still talking, Sylvie especially. You have people that are just like, that have, sketched a photo. There was some person, you think it might be Dr. Etouffet, who sketched a picture of Christine. And everyone's bringing pictures of Christine to have you sign. And so
Loopy, really elegant signature.
So
Been practicing it
you're
for
doing
years.
that. You're known as Wygor, the most disgusting creature in the history of stage.
Oh, well, thank you, I guess. I'm like shaking my
And
hand.
Annulin, you're the most dashing, handsome man that the world has seen, and with the most convincing mustache. And
Oh, thank you.
Typecasting, you know what I mean?
and eventually Vanders joins you if you're going to wait the 4 hours for him to meditate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about midday, lunchtime. You probably had a heavy brunch, so you're all fed and ready to go. What are you guys going to do?
Well, does anyone want to go back to the Sunsteel Ward? Just take a look around?
I guess the only issue would be getting past those Dragonborn guards if they're still there, not busy cleaning up whatever happened the other day.
Oh, we forgot to mention. Speaking of that, as when we were walking back, there was all of this ruckus. They said, next time we'll be ready. Annulin told me, I think. And then we looked down this alleyway, and there was this store called the Desert Rose. And...
That sounds beautiful.
Aye,
Did we see what kind of a store that was?
Make an
Or,
intelligence
what
check.
kind of- A what? An
An
investigation?
intelligence check.
I still can't hear you.
Intelligence. Straight intelligence. Apologies.
Ooh, that's bad.
It's hard to
Mm.
tell.
Let's give that a 3.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult to tell. You just were glancing down the street that it was on. You saw that there was a heavy presence, and you saw a mix of species and races, but that's all you saw.
so anyway, I think that they're expecting something with that vigilante. I mean...
They're definitely on high alert. We should be careful about going back there.
Okay, well that makes sense. I guess we could all maybe fly back in 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 or however we want to do that. But I would say we best not try our luck with any of the Dragonborn again if we're going to be doing anything sneaky without Garu's knowledge.
Well, I don't think we need to do anything sneaky. We just need to look around. And again, I don't think that we're not going to cause any trouble. I think that I'm not sure why this vigilante pops up around the same time we come into town. Do we get the sense that it's relatively recent, the vigilante? How long has it been going on?
I'll say that you have no idea. You got no sense. It seems, I would say that the way that Vandris, the way that you had heard Regard talking about that, it seemed to have been a thorn in the side. Potentially before you guys got there. I'll just say that that's just DM fiat for you guys.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not opposed. If that's what we want to do, I think looking for clues and information is fine. That's what we do, right? I guess I'm just worried about trouble always finding us when we say we're not going to cause any trouble. But you lead the way and I'll follow. I've got your back.
All right, just act like we own the place, right? We just walk in, we just act like we're just about our day, and we can just look around.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Okay. So, you were heading to the Sunsteel Ward.
So we go to the Sunsteel Ward, taking the same path that we took back, and just kind of keep our ears and eyes out when we get to the Desert Rose and look around. And then at that point, maybe we'll go on to the barn or stick around, I guess.
Okay. You finish your breakfast, leave the new Arcadia Square, you head into the Sunsteel Ward. You're making your way through the towns, the whole district. You're winding through the same path. It's not difficult to remember which way Mina had taken you. As you're winding through Rodic and Annuan, you remember a familiar street. You turn your head and you see that same familiar sign of the sand dune, Avantris and Sylvie. You see it as well. Spiraling stem, a furling pink flower called the Desert Rose. Doesn't look like any rose that you've seen, but all the same. Go ahead.
I was just saying, that's it, guys. That's what we saw. I don't know what's back there, but there's definitely a sign.
And Anna points that out, and you see stationed outside, more than Rodic and Annulan, you had seen guards. You had seen some rough-looking humans, number of Dragonborn, 2 tall, falcon-headed Aarakocra, large glaives, heavily guarded. And despite it being heavily guarded, you do see a softness. There are women standing by the entrance, draped. You smell the strange exotic spices and incense. And you kind of see that there are women outside beckoning people in, dressed in silk, scantily clad, human, dragonborn.
Guys, it's a pussy palace. The perfect place to go for a group known as the Pussy Posse.
We're not known as that.
No, but I call it...
That's not our name.
But that's the name that I gave us.
Do you... What are they doing?
They're...
We're at least a little ways back.
Oh.
I would say you're
Rodic.
continuing walking, acting nonchalant.
Oh, Rodic, I didn't realize you were a virgin.
You don't know what I am.
Well, you don't know what they are, so I think that tells me all I need to know. They're beckoning people in to provide, pleasure.
Is that outside the door of the Desert Rose? Or
Yes.
outside the alley? Okay, got it.
So it wasn't an alley. It was a
Mature
street.
campaign, by the way.
Mature stream. It was a
Oh,
street.
so it was. Are we on that street?
So you're the main drag. There was one street that veered off, and that's where the Desert Rose was.
Okay, got
and you
it.
saw it was heavily guarded, but there were still these women dressed in silks and
Got it.
face masks. And
So
kind
the
of
door of the
these-
Desert Rose was
and
guarded. Not
yeah,
like
and
the
you
entrance to the
see
street.
a number of humans of all sorts of shades. You see a number of Dragonborn. One seems to have this red skin, fiery red hair, especially at the front, being the most charismatic and beckoning people. You see a couple of people walking by, and then all of a sudden they catch eyes, and they're like, they just kind of get this dumb look on their face, and they grin, and they take a hand, and they walk in.
We'll keep walking past towards the barn then.
Yep,
Okay.
definitely a virgin. I look over at Annulan and wink at her.
So,
what do you know about? Hey, have you ever heard about? Is there a connection with the slaves in Alphonse?
What do you mean?
I'm assuming that I don't know. I won't make assumptions. Anyway, let's continue.
So,
Okay. That was
You
a weird
continue.
thing to say.
it's past midday at this point. The sun is blazing down. And you arrive at the scene. The ruined barn, the kennel of the giant hyenas, right across the street. You hear the light snickering of the beasts. And you approach. No one seems to really pay you much mind. While you were making your way, you saw the occasional Aarakocra point down at you and kind of whisper at someone, and then they would point and make comment, and they would turn the other way. You have the sense that Garu's protection is still upon you. You arrive at this barn. The hanging trap doors still hanging, the blazing sun within the Sunsteel ward shining down into the cellar. You arrive. Rotting wood, scraps of metal. The ruined barn is before you. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna investigate up on the top and see if I see anything interesting.
Investigation check.
Anulin,
Basically just that.
do you want to look for tracks? And maybe I can help you if I can.
Anyone can't hear you.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Oh, I said, do you want to look for tracks? And I'll try to assist if I can, and we can maybe see if there are any hoof prints from the devil creature.
Yeah, I will. I doubt I'm gonna find anything, but I will look for tracks.
Survival check with advantage. Why don't you?
Oh, advantage. That's good. Okay. Survival. 25.
Rurik, you don't find shit. Aelin, on the other hand, you find tracks.
She's good at everything.
Oh shit. Okay. Go on.
As Roderick is digging around, you dig around and you find tracks. These don't look like boot prints. They don't look like footprints. They look like the prints of someone wearing high heels, but the strange cloven nature of a hoof.
Do you relay
Look
that?
at this. Yeah. I'll point everybody over to the tracks that I found.
Allow me to finish.
These appear to be hooker prints.
You find these strange kind of prints that look like hoof-like, but almost like a high heel. And they lead towards a wooden lever, buried almost halfway by a pile of rotting farm equipment. But you can see it clearly turned in one direction. And then the one other thing you notice, these tracks just appear out of nowhere in the vicinity, in the immediate vicinity of this lever. No,
So it doesn't appear that she just can become invisible. It's almost as if she ceases to exist or flies away. Maybe. I mean, she looked like she had wings, right?
Did you do your investigation roll?
Yeah, I didn't find anything.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I'll take your word for it. Sylvia
Yeah.
doesn't find nothing,
No,
guys.
I found nothing.
I want to go over to the barrel and inspect where Mina was and see if I can
Okay.
see anything like suspicious
I'm gonna pull that lever.
or hoof related.
Make a strength check, Sylvie. Make an investigation check, Rhoda.
9.
19.
I will say you get a little bit of. You see the kind of wooden trap doors emptying into the cellar move slightly and rattle, but no movement.
19
19.
for investigation.
Investigation. You look around the barrel. You don't find anything particularly amiss. You see a kind of shuffling, small shoes prints of Mina, and it seems kind of heading from the road towards the barrel and then out where the party met her.
All right, well,
I'm gonna continue trying to pull it, like, and making as much noise as I possibly can without being, like, overly loud and drawing.
You all notice Sylvie failing to pull this lever.
I'm so strong. I will get it eventually.
All right, I help her.
Sylvia assists Rodak. Rodak will advantage.
What are we doing here?
Strength. Athletics, if you prefer.
I would prefer that. Athletics is what, 9? 22.
22. You see Rodak, and all of a sudden, the
You
wooden
spit on me from all
floor.
the way over there.
I got some projectile spit, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's a good 6
The
feet.
the floor of the barn once again rises back up, connects, locks into place.
Oh, got it. I knew I could do it on my own. What are you doing here, Rhoda? Get away, I'm busy.
Well, that was well done. That was probably you loosened it for me. It's like a jar of pickles,
What are you
right?
talking about? I did that all on my own.
Oh, all right. That's anyway.
I'm very strong.
Well, at least we can confirm what we think happened. I guess this thing, I guess, maybe used her wings and flew down, or is she invisible? Maybe she teleported like Sylvie can do. I don't like this.
I guess what I'm concerned about is if we think that this creature is potentially the vigilante, the will-o-wisp, why concern itself with a vampire? Or maybe, like, how did it know? And what's the involvement, right? I mean, this vigilante has been freeing slaves, and then all of a sudden, so maybe it isn't the will-o-wisp. Maybe this creature is not the will-o-wisp, not the vigilante. But it's just odd to me that something that can disappear like that wouldn't have the name the will-o-wisp.
Oh my god,
And-
I just had a revelation. That door that I just closed, that is the one that thing opened to kill Taiki. Oh my god, guys.
Well, you saw it happen? We looked up and she was right there.
Yeah, but I just realized that that's the same door.
What's funny about that, though, is I literally just realized that. I thought I was opening something. I'm like, why is the thing closing? And I just put two together.
Okay, well,
I am Sylvie.
Van just walks away and goes, sits on a stump and puts his head in his hands and kind of sits there for a while.
I want to go back down to the cellar and root around to see if she's been living there for a while at night. And maybe she wasn't there a while, but like any of her belongings, if there's any sort of like journals or anything written down or like any kind of evidence of it being lived in for a while.
Investigation check.
What am I doing here? Ooh, that's not good. 9.
You find one of the boxes. You remember that there were these large chests, lids. All of them were filled with these rusting farm equipments and the like. One of them was empty, save for a shallow layer of dirt. As you kind of lean down to smell it, as Rodak would do, smells boggy, peaty. Reminds you of a stench that you had smelled at the cemetery when you had adventured with Psyche yourself. You root around, you find one gold pink chip in this crate.
A gold pink chip?
It's a pink chip from the Hunger Captors worth 1 gold.
Oh, got it.
Apologies. $1 chip, 1 gold chip.
Well, now
$1
dramatically that makes
here?
sense now that I get a
Yeah.
1 gold
Yeah.
pink chip.
Yes, correct. 1 gold piece worth of a pink chip.
So it sounds like she got the dirt from the cemetery, or at least out in the swamp somewhere.
Yeah, because Draculas have to sleep on cemetery ground or something.
I found another chip. Nothing else
Congratulations,
beyond.
you're rich.
Do we know that vampires have to sleep on dirt?
No, I just made that up. I mean, they might.
Well, it's in this box, and I'm wondering, did she sleep in it?
Probably.
Why would there be dirt in here?
Maybe just
How
try
big is the box?
It's probably 6 by 3.
Are there any shovels around?
There are a couple, yeah.
I'm gonna grab a shovel and start digging the dirt out of the box.
Okay, you do that. You start to see Avantris. It's a very thin, probably 2-inch layer of dirt laid out in this box. You start scraping. You kind of hit the wood as Avantris is just piling this small pile of dirt in the cellar. It's now a pile of dirt.
But it wasn't like a box full of dirt.
No, there's a thin layer. Apologies.
Okay, my
not
mistake.
making that clear.
Avantris isn't that stupid, so he never did that.
So that never happened. Thin layer of dirt. There's no shovels. Shovels don't
Thought
exist
maybe
in
something
Avantris.
was buried in the box.
No, apologies. No. It looks like Taiki may or may not have slept here on a thin layer of dirt, and that's why there is a chip. If that makes sense.
And she got the dirt from, like, not from this area, but it has kind of that, like, swampy smell to it.
Exactly.
Cemetery. From the cemetery.
Cemetery.
Exactly, Rodak. Exactly.
Swampy cemetery.
From the swampy cemetery.
Alright, well, unfortunately, I don't think there's much more we can learn here. Do we care about this vigilante guy running around?
I mean, he seems like he's doing good.
Yeah.
The only reason I care is because before we had the chance to get to the bottom of all of this, and we had a really good chance, we were robbed of it. And I'd like to know why. And I you know, as much as I just have more questions than we can shake a stick at.
That's right. And I think we overheard that the vigilante was a gnome, right?
What?
A female gnome.
Nobody told me that.
Or was it a male gnome?
It was small.
I'm pretty sure that Anulin kept that to herself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Who knows? It's probably a dragonborn, if I were to guess.
Do you think the vigilante is a dragonborn?
Or it could be, I mean, if he, like, maybe there's a dragonborn that's, like, going against his own kind and trying to, like, free the slaves as, like, a way to kind of rebel against the...
It's possible. I guess I just assumed with the name and what we witnessed when the door opened that was you know, there was some correlation there, but you know, who knows at this point, I suppose.
Well, it could be. Now that I don't know that it's a gnome, that this person could be the vigilante. Maybe she opened the door and it would make perfect sense that she would kind of have an understanding of what's going on. And maybe she was just helping us defeat the vampire, but wanted to stay in the shadows because she doesn't want to be caught.
She was in direct sunlight.
Who?
Are we talking about the woman who opened that trapdoor I was so confused about?
Aye.
Yeah, you said she wanted to stay in the shadows. Well, she was in direct sunlight, otherwise that trapdoor trick would not have worked.
Right, but then she went immediately back invisible.
What?
She opened the door, we saw her there plainly, and then she shimmered out of existence, out of
I
view.
know. I was looking at her bazoombas when it happened. I was very disappointed when she left.
Well, my point is, perhaps we should at least take a look around this Rose place.
Yeah, no,
We still
I
have a few
definitely
hours.
think we should.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, you finally agree on something
We
for once.
do. Yes, we
It's
do.
a miracle. All right. How do you guys, you elves? You two knife ears?
What is that? They don't have knives for ears. That's rude.
No, it's just an
Why
old
are
dwarf.
dwarves so rude?
Oh, is that? Oh, it's just. Oh, I'm sorry. They just.
I didn't mind it.
In Beaver Creek, that's just what all the dwarves call elves. I assumed it was just a generic term. I mean, I'm not like ignorant or anything. I didn't know
I
anything
wonder
about
what Dobro's up to, speaking of Beaver Creek.
God.
So, you leave the
Dwarves.
cellar, you leave the ruined remains of the stable boys seemingly undisturbed. Taiki's seeming resting place before her death, also undisturbed. Well, not quite undisturbed, but you leave it. You get as much as you think you'll get. You make your way back through the sub. Oh, go
On the
ahead.
way out, I want to take a look the barrel that Nino is hiding in.
Correct.
I just want to look inside the barrel and see if there's anything, like see if I see anything in there.
Make a Rhoda already checked, so why don't you just do a survival check for me, and this will determine what I tell you.
Oh shit! Roll
That's how D&D works. Let's see.
38.
Well, good. 14.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh shit.
Oh god. Oh gee willikers. 14.
Clump strikes again.
I set those DCs. You start poking around the barrel. Annually. Look around. And you notice, as you were the one to discover the hoof prints, you realize you start triangulating this barrel that Mina was in. The hoof prints are kind of facing directly away from this barrel.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
I have an unusual attraction to Mina.
No.
No.
Does Agulin share any of this?
Yeah, I would point this out.
I
It
told
can't
you.
be.
You didn't say that. Don't even try and take credit for this. You never looked at me and said, Sylvie, by the way, just so you know, Mina was actually that incredibly sexy and voluptuous, strange pink, hoofied woman. Hoof mommy, if you will.
Well, Lumi was with her the whole time, right?
And Lumi said she screamed and jumped in a barrel. From what she did after that, apparently Lumi didn't see. She's kind of a shitlord, if you didn't notice. Pixies do as pixies do. That's what I get for choosing a familiar from the Feywild.
What was that, Anulin?
Lumi can't see invisible people, right?
Thank you for the
Make a
follow.
murder squid.
I don't think she can see
She
invisible.
No.
Oh no.
So, if she went invisible and then came out of that barrel somehow,
Well, Lumi probably had a bottle of whiskey and she probably passed out.
she is kind of a little lush.
Well, that's, like I said, that's what you get for picking your familiar from the Feywild. I should have thought about that when I was level 3.
Is Lumi with you?
So,
No, Lumi's with,
Oh, Taiki. Yeah.
so if we assume the worst,
I do.
it's that poor innocent Mina is actually anything but. And if she's some sort of horrible demon woman, then Alphonse most certainly also must be some sort of a demon contracted something, and God knows what Laudna is as well. And it's probably this horrid family of demons or something, and we are yet again in over our heads without anything to back us up here.
So, if she's some kind of a demon thing, Alphonse knows it. So what I don't understand is why would Alphonse, knowing that she was this thing, lead us all the way out here to Taiki and then have her kill Taiki? Why didn't she just kill Taiki on her own?
Maybe she couldn't do it alone. Maybe she needed our help to at least get things rolling, and then she was able to just deliver the final blow once we had Taiki right where we wanted her.
Or maybe she was just supposed to watch to make sure we did it, and then when we were hesitating and talking to her, she just did it for us.
You could, right, as soon as she started to spill the beans.
Who spilled beans? Do you carry beans with you? I'm really hungry.
They're metaphorical beans, not real ones.
There's no use crying over spilt beans.
Oh no, I cry over spilled beans all the time, metaphorical or otherwise.
Now, I don't want to immediately accuse Mina of being that devil thing, but I think we should start operating under the assumption that Alphonse and his minions, whoever they are, also wanted Taiki dead. Or they wanted Taiki dead and they didn't want Taiki spilling the proverbial or metaphorical beans.
So, I don't think that we don't know what that thing was. We can't just say it's a devil and assume that it's bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Right? I mean, that's fine.
it looked more like a goat bat.
And to be fair, the devil that came to collect Matthias gave us these wonderful, horrible powers.
Yeah, and goat bats are prevalent in the swamps of the Whipperwallow swamps. That's
Goat
not true.
bats.
I made that up. But I like to think they would be. That sounds like a really cool creature to see every once in a while.
That's fine.
And she was pink, which is my second favorite color.
Now, regardless, I think we need to
play it off like we don't suspect a thing. We'll meet Alphonse in 2 days, and we can perhaps try to get a bit of information without revealing our hand.
I think that's fine.
Now before it gets dark, why don't we just take a quick look around the Desert Rose, and then we'll head back to Madame Zostra's when it gets dark.
Yes,
Okay.
I would like to do that.
You leave the barn. You hear the snickering, bickering, fighting of the hyenas of the kennel across the way. You make your way down through the Sunsteel ward. You look down the street. The women outside are no longer there. There's Dragonborn Blue, as seems to be the most common Dragonborn in this district. Says, "The Rose is closed tonight."
Oh no.
Oh,
Why? I was really
Something
looking.
happened?
Renovations. Good night.
But so where would I go if I was looking to bed a hot toddy?
Can I also insight check him?
Please.
I was gonna help you lose your virginity, Rodak. What an unfortunate turn of events.
17.
Seems to
Rodak's
be
a
on-
virgin?
Yeah.
you don't know what I am.
Seems to be honest. Seems to be telling the truth.
Alright. Well,
Move along now.
We will. Are there any other brothels anywhere in Ogway that you know of?
There are many brothels in the ward. The Rose is closed.
Okay, I wasn't asking if it was open.
have a lovely day.
Or night, whatever.
Okay.
And I'll leave. Yeah.
Well,
You all leave. You see the blue dragonborn turn, and Angela, make a intelligence check.
It's a 3.
You see them go towards some bird-looking guys, and that's it. And they start to talk, and you leave. The sun has crested. It's into winter at this point. The days are short. Sun sets early. As the final rays of the sun, the brilliant golds and oranges of sunset disappear, make way for the purples and blues and blacks of twilight. Night has fallen over Ogway. You leave the Sunsteel ward. You are now back in the Magnolia Promenade as I switch my music.
well, I guess, Rodak's not gonna lose his virginity tonight, but he's had it for 47 years, so we might as well keep it for another night, not a big deal. But I think we should go see Madame Zostra.
Anyway, I wonder, we heard that they would be ready this time, as we overheard them say. So I'm wondering if the renovations that they're doing are to prevent or capture the will-o-wisp.
Oh, maybe. But, as that's not something we're involved in, we should go see Madame Zostra.
I mean, we're on our way right now.
Oh, we are? I thought we were gonna go get soup first.
Oh, we had a big brunch. We can get soup afterwards.
Souped out.
Well, I'm never souped out. If there's a bread bowl, there's, Sylvie, it's common saying where I'm from.
We can... Anyways.
I just kind of turn and walk in silence for the rest of the
Okay,
night.
you're heading to Madame Zostra's.
Yes, we are.
So, you're making your way, you kind of smell the soup's annulant. It's kind of like you're a bit souped out from last night. You're not really feeling it. It's like, why not something else other than soup? Why's it gotta be soup? You pass the true
Can I
blue-
run in and get one to go?
Sure. Why not? That'll be 8 copper.
Perfect.
For whatever soup you want, Sylvie. From anywhere, any style of the world. You know the world better than...
I wanna eat it unusually close to Annulin.
We'll say it's like the stinkiest seafood chowder you've
Yeah,
ever...
perfect.
It's like even stinkier than Seamus's seafood chowder. Not as good, but
You
stankier.
mean seafood stew?
Seafood stew, oh, Vandersland!
yes.
You make your way through. And you find, as you step out, you enter the alley. You make your way through. You see the same tent that you visited the previous day. with his entrance flap, however, rolled up and fastened to the top of the structure. A warm orange glow emanates from the welcoming entrance. The smell of soup now mixes with a plethora of fragrant aromas from far-off lands. The tent is directly in front of you. What do? Are you going inside?
I'm gonna walk right in.
You all,
I'll follow.
you all walk in.
Yep.
I'm gonna hold the cards out as I walk in.
Excuse me, Madam Zostra. Do you remember me? You were the first person that ever told me I was you told me I was special once.
You step in saying that. You'll have to bear with me for a few minutes.
Sure.
As soon as you step in the tent, you find it surprisingly spacious for all four of you. The perimeter is lined with several shelves, completely packed with books, wooden boxes, pouches, and knickknacks. You see strangely hued crystals, oblong bowls, stacks of coins, glass spheres of varying sizes, polished silverware, wooden dolls carefully painted, vials filled with viscous liquids, a number of stringed instruments, a comb carved out of ebony, a variety of other oddities, many of which are paired with small scraps of paper or parchment advertising prices, all in silver. The thick tallow candles sit on nearly every level surface in the tent, all burning and casting a comforting light over the entire interior. Bunches of dried herbs and flowers hang from the top of the tent. A plush black fur rug, perhaps made from a panther's hide, stretches from corner to corner to corner to corner. At the center of the tent, a small circular wooden table draped in a silver threaded velvet. Between this table and the rear of the tent sits a woman in a flowing blue dress, shrouded in a silver hooded cloak. It's impossible for you to discern her age, as her face has an uncanny, youthful maturity to it, which is framed by thick curls of raven black hair with a single silver streak. She's not what any of you would call particularly attractive, but there's a welcoming, almost motherly warmth to it. Piercing blue eyes stare back at you, Sylvie, with a glint of curiosity as you fill the empty space in front of her table, all four of you. You have finally returned, Sylvie.
Oh, you remembered my name.
Flickerwicket,
It's Wicket, actually, with a W.
the child of the stars,
Yeah.
the seven paths,
Yeah.
and her grandmother's love.
Yeah. See, I told you I was special. Yeah.
What brings you here, Sylvie Flickerwicket?
Oh, Madam Zostra, you're so much younger than I described to my friends. I'm sorry about that. We found these cards, and they're yours. They have your signature on them, and they have words on them, and I was hoping you would be able to tell me what it's all about.
And
What
so I show her
cards?
the cards.
They're Taroka cards. You remember you read mine for me oh so long ago?
I do not forget a single reading, child. These young Taiki Heartseeker, yes,
Yeah, she was a friend of ours.
she was.
May she find peace in the afterlife.
May she do the same. The cards were not very kind to her.
That was her reading?
Yes,
Oh no.
I am merely a vessel for the cards. It was not a positive reading. As you
may not have known because it was the hullabaloo, I sell each of the cards I read for a single silver piece.
Oh.
So you may hold on to all 5 for guidance.
Wow. Yeah, I was really broke back then, so even if I'd known, I wouldn't have been able to buy my cards. You were so kind to give me that reading for free.
It was not the standard prices that evening, my child. You, the 3 of you. Rodek Stonehearth.
She knows your name. She's so smart.
Avantris Truestrike. Anulin Mossgrove.
Wait, did the gods tell you that in there that maybe her name was Clump too? We've been on this debate for a very long time.
Stop it! No, elbow him.
You elbow him.
Shh. This is a very serious
I have
business.
heard nothing of a clump.
No.
But
She
your
can't
friend
say
Taiki
everything.
came to me but 2 days prior. In the evening. She said she was very ill. She came searching for how she became ill and how she may be cured. The cards did not speak well for her fate.
Were you able to tell us what the reading was, or is there some sort of confidentiality, or...
You have the reading in your hands, child.
I don't know how to interpret them, I suppose. I guess we're just looking for a little help.
What does it mean?
A Taroka reading is a 5-card draw. Your experience, the deeds, the knowledge of your past, your purpose, the quest, the charge of your present, the unknown, all of the hidden influences that intertwine with your fate, the guidance, the advice that the cards themselves will provide, and the destiny, the most important card of all.
Give me the cards. Give me the cards, Rodek. Yes, no, we're listening.
Your future, your fate. This was the reading. I sell such services for a single silver piece.
Wow.
The 4 of you may each provide a reading for a single silver piece, and with such a thing, I will be able to see into my crystal ball and do a reading for you.
You do that for each of us?
The cards, yes. The crystal ball requires more essence than a single individual.
Oh, so you'll do like a group reading kind of a thing.
From the ball, yes, each of you can provide me with a single silver piece.
Yeah, we can.
I pass
Oh,
out
yeah.
silver pieces.
Yeah, we
Oh
can.
yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
with Sylvia on this one. We're doing it.
Yeah, no, we're doing it.
No,
No,
I
Rodek,
don't.
Rodek, look at me. I pretty much do everything you ask. I never give you any trouble. I'm like the best friend. I'm asking you for this. Give me this, Rodek.
Alright.
Just give me this.
Alright.
And I hand him a silver piece.
Okay. You do that.
So I'm going to mark off 4 silver from mine.
So everyone, you're giving a silver for everyone.
Yes.
If Rodek doesn't want to do an individual reading, I think that's fine. But I think as a group, we should all do. And while you're at it, maybe you could take a look into a crystal ball and see who might actually be the best at lockpicking and murdering and just general stealthiness, and who's like the fastest of all of us.
Avantris Truestrike, friend of Sylvie Flickerwicket. Once the cards speak, the ball will be charged enough to see
Okay, all
the
right,
fate
fair enough.
of the group.
Wow. This is so cool. Guys, this is so cool. This is really, really cool. I did this once, and it was
She
really,
reaches
really cool.
under the table, and
It's
a
exclusive.
full deck of Taroka cards appears. Large, the same size, same style as the one that Taiki. She does an elaborate shuffle. She shuffles the entire deck, and she sits. And she draws cards.
Oh shit.
Music,
need
man,
this?
music.
This
Are
is
we
the
doing
same
this?
music. We are doing this.
Music.
Don't read this shit that I have.
No, we won't read it. Don't put it in front of the camera.
Sylvie.
Don't give. Sylvie first. That's me.
Is this what you wish? Who will prefer the reading
Let's
first?
do Rodek first. Let's warm up with the one who's gonna have the worst odds.
Sylvie, we will
Okay,
start with you.
Fine. Yeah.
Your experience. The Seven of Stars. The Illusionist.
Her eyes gloss over.
Withered roses, dying on the ledge, a withered dreamer standing on the edge. You dream of love, wake up to pain. You're better off to join in my game.
What?
Sylvie, your purpose.
What was that?
The charlatan, the Seven of Glyphs. The lover of lives, not a sinner. The ending is just a beginner. The closer you get to the meaning, the sooner you know that you are dreaming. Sylvie, you're unknown. The Seven of Swords, fitting for the child of the Seven Paths. Seven. Her eyes roll back once again. Stranger than the comet as it streaks across the sky. Stranger than the truth he knows before his open eyes. He has dealt with mysteries and trickery and light to entertain. He looked into the abyss and called it by its name. Sylvie, your guidance.
Zastra.
The artifact. Roll back. I am the master of the game that's made a fool of you. I am watching from the highest tower. You have the aura to enchant them in a symphony, and I have the power. Finally, Sylvie. Thank you, Rich. Oh, am I standing in the way of something?
No.
Apologies.
He was trying to fix light for you.
Yeah, doing Tarok reading, I didn't want to spoil it, so, you know.
Just go ahead. I'm just gonna move some stuff around.
Finally, Sylvie, your destiny. The marionette. You are striving for beauty, for a song to remain. One final touch, and the spirit you've incited holds on to your reins. She comes to. The cards speak to you, child.
Is it as good as it was the last time?
You are still the child of the stars. If you recall, child, you ended your destiny with the illusionist, the Seven of Stars. And now you've achieved that, and your experience is the Seven of Stars.
So that's good.
It is a good thing, but I am merely a vessel for the cards
Okay.
of which they tell.
Yeah. We don't like the whole marionette idea. I'm no one's puppet.
And I sell each of these so you may hold on to them for a silver piece a card.
Okay, I will give it to you. 5 cards, 5 silver.
She provides you each. She writes each of the. She takes all the cards. She withdraws them from the deck.
from the table, swipes them, and she... Oh, shit.
You can move it away. It doesn't...
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk off camera. She withdraws them from the table. She takes a quill, brilliant silver, writes each of the placements on each of them, and signs the back. Hands all 5 to you.
Are you gonna stay over there?
No, I'm gonna be moving back.
Okay.
shortly.
Who is next?
What did that mean?
Vandra.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Who is next?
Vandress.
I vote Rodak.
First the queen, then the
No,
king,
no.
then the clump, then the dwarf.
Oh, Vandris is fine. That's fine.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's
Lay it
do
on me.
Vandris.
Hit me. All you want.
Vandris.
No whammies.
She shuffles the deck once again, and she sits at the table. Am I getting back in frame? I
Yeah.
am.
She sits once again at the table and withdraws. Vandris Trustrike. Your experience. The one of coins. The swashbuckler. Through the night you plow. You still your heart, calculate and pray. As the compass swings, your will is strong, you will not be led astray. Vandris, your purpose. Oh, should I do it over here? Should I opposite? Yeah, let's opposite it. The broken one. They sailed across the air before they learned to fly. They thought that it could never end. They glided above the ground before they learned to run. And now it seems their world has come undone. Vandris, you're unknown. The 4 of coins. The merchant. Never tell a secret with your eyes. It's the eyes that let you down. Tell a little truth with many lies. It is the only way he's found. Vandris, your guidance. The 6 of glyphs. The anarchist. The lenses inside of him that paint the world black. The pools of poison and scarlet mist that spill over into rage. The things he's always been denied. An early promise that somehow died. The missing part of him that grows around him like a cage. And finally, Vandris Tushak, friend of Sylvie Flickerwicket. Your destiny. The horseman. Carry all of those phantoms through bitter wind and stormy skies, from the desert to the mountains, from the lowest lows to the highest highs. Her eyes roll back, and she looks at you, Vandris. Thus speak the cards. Do you wish to purchase each one, Vandris?
Yes, I do.
She collects all of them again, and she returns. She starts shuffling the deck. Which one of you is next?
Clump. I mean Annulin. Annulin's next.
No, I'm scared. What if it says something terrible?
Well, it probably will, but that's fine, because it was going to happen whether you knew anyway.
Alright.
Or maybe you're also the child of the stars. You don't know.
Anulin is next.
Yeah.
Aye.
Child.
She starts shuffling. It seems as if the deck, despite selling off 10 of the cards, maintains the same size that it did as soon as you started. She then leans forward.
And I return into frame. Anulin Musgrove. Your experience is the innocent.
That's good.
And now you're trembling on a rocky ledge, staring down into a heartless sea. You can't face life on the razor's edge. Nothing's what you thought it would be. Anulin, your purpose. The 9 of Swords, the torturer. Kill the spirit, and you'll be blinded. The end is always the same. Play with fire, and you'll burn your fingers and lose your hold of the flame. Anulin, you're unknown. The 8 of Swords, the dictator. Locking hands together well, raise a city, burn a living hell. Join the race to suicide. Listen for the tolling of the bell. Anulin, your guidance. The 5 of Glyphs, the druid. You can circle around like hurricanes and dance and dream like a lover. You can attack the day like a bird of prey or a scavenger undercover. Anulin Musgrove, friend of Sylvie Flickerwicket, your destiny is the Horseman. You will watch the world exploding every single night, dancing in the sun, a newborn in the light. Say goodbye to gravity, and say goodbye to death. Say hello to eternity, and live for every breath. Her eyes kind of roll back. Thus speaketh the cards. Anulin, do you care to keep the cards of your fortune?
I think I'd better.
5 more silver. She hands you. She pulls out the same silver quill. She takes all of the cards.
I gotta be honest, her horseman sounded a lot better than my horseman.
And she goes and she shuffles. And she shuffles the deck again.
There is only one of you remaining.
I'm
Rodak,
excited.
Stoneheart, are you prepared for your reading?
Is this real?
I don't know. I think so.
Go on.
Rodak, your guidance is the 9 of Glyphs, the traitor.
Sounds about right.
You are cast out by the bloody Father's hand. You are a stranger in this lonely promised land. You are the shadow of the one unholy ghost. In your nightmare world, the only one you trust. Rodak, your purpose. The 3 of Stars, the Enchanter. O gods of earth and altar, bow down and hear our cry. Their earthly ruler falters, their people drift and die. The walls of gold entomb them, the swords of scorn divide. Take not thy thunder from them, take away their pride. Rodek, you're unknown. The seer. Infinite dreams. He cannot deny them. Infinite dreams are hard to comprehend. He couldn't hear those screams even in his wildest dreams. Rodek, your guidance. The Six of Swords. The Berserker. Now is the time to turn the tide. Now is the time to fight. Let us not go gently into the endless winter night. Rodek Stonehearth, friend of Sylvie Flickerwicket, your destiny is the Horseman. You've been facing the heavens. You were lost and left alone, but you are welcome to my home. We found another heaven. It is you who will take my hand, come into the promised land. Thus speak the cards. She comes back chill. Rodek Stoneheart, would you care to purchase each of these cards?
Disappointed. Sylvie.
Without a word, Sylvie points 5 more silver. Each of you have each of your readings. You all have 5 of your cards. Exact same thing, the placement of each one with... Can we
No, that's us. That's us. That's us. That's us. Took us back.
It's me, Dracula voice.
Kind of
Too far. Too far.
Too far?
Yep.
There you go.
All of you. You all have your readings. She stares at you, those piercing blue eyes.
The cards have spoken, and the magic is charged. The crystal ball will tell, but you may not enjoy what it has to say. Do you still wish for the seeing in the crystal?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
With that, all the cards clear from the velvet. She reaches into a sleeve in her robe, pulls out a large crystal ball in her palm, places it on the table. She stares into it, and she begins to speak to herself.
7 deadly sins. 7 ways to win. 7 holy paths to hell, and your trip begins. 7 downward slopes. 7 bloodied hopes. 7 are your burning fires. 7 your desires.
Her eyes turn a milky white as they roll back, but she still seems to be staring intently into this crystal ball.
I see. A father betrayed by his son. A white lion on a bright morning. A golden den vacant in springtime. A towering palace shimmering in a mirage. Wilderness, pristine and untouched. Bursting ice, they come for it. Black scales beneath the water. A single blue rose on a gnarled, thorny bush. Storming seas, an axe rising through the waves. Thousands of putrid fish heads gibbering as one. A gilded cage made for death itself. A tall black bird in dark midnight. A learned one turned to crystal clear madness. A flash of brown, then silenced voices. Whispers from beyond the stars and within the world. A blood-bathed crown shining in brilliant light. A heart on fire returned from ash. A spinning compass with a ruby needle. A crimson ram beneath a red sun. Salvation in true love's sacrifice. A skull on a fence post, glowing with haunting light. A full moon turning dark, cold, hallways so old, a chalice of gold. A maw of 1,000,000 teeth in the darkness. A will-o-wisp trapped in a flask beneath black wings. A smashed mask, a tattered cloak. Blood, peril, blood. Your blood, Sylvie.
What?
A sister with a life hanging in the balance. Your sister. Her life is at stake. I can see it, but I need blood to see where. Sylvie, do you wish to save your sister?
Not really, but here.
She grabs you by the wrist.
I need the blood.
She reaches beneath the table, pulls out what looks like the claws or talon of some sort of bird. Veins running up the legs, and each of 3 legs forward, 1 leg back. She grabs you by the wrist, claw on each end. You feel 4 punctures.
Ew.
And all of you see red filling up from each talon. Filling this thing.
That's a lot of blood.
The blood of the child of stars. Sylvie the will-o-wisp. Sylvie, your blood, your sister. The will-o-wisp is in the jaws of the red dragon on a sand dune with a bright pink flower blazing beneath a steel sun. That is where your sister is.
Her eyes come back, and she kind of rolls her head around.
Sylvie,
Madame Zastra.
she is there now.
She's locked with the dragonborns inside of the Desert Rose?
You heard what I said, did you not?
Yeah.
The crystal told me. The crystal speaks. That is where she is at this very moment.
Your
With
sis-
the will-o-wisp. It sounds like she's with
my
the will-o-wisp.
It sounds like my sister. Well, which one? Who knows? They're all a bunch of assholes. But one of my sisters sounds like she's the will-o-wisp, and more than likely she's held captive inside of a cell or something inside of the Desert Rose.
And
Maybe they're both captive.
What was that?
I said, or maybe they're both captive. They have your sister and the will-o-wisp. Maybe they captured the vigilante.
She said that the will-o-wisp is in the jaws of the red dragon.
Right?
This is true. This is what the crystal spoke. I have seen through the crystal, through the ball, through the blood of the child of the stars, the child of the seventh path, the child of her grandmother's love.
I told you I was special.
I have seen the child's sister will die tonight.
When?
If you do not go, she will certainly die.
So are we just going to kick the doors off of this Rose brothel place and go in guns a-blazing? I mean, we're not going to just let her sister die. And we have to figure out what's going on with the Will-O-Wisp.
I have no use of her.
You want to let your own sister die?
Well, I mean, I would prefer she didn't die. But I also don't want to die trying to save her. They tortured me when I was younger. They were so mean to me.
Sylvie, child,
Madam Sastra.
there is nothing more important in this world or any other than blood.
No.
Blood is the most magically potent force in the entire cosmos. And if it is true, if the crystal speaks the truth, and it always does, then your sister is worth saving.
Well,
We need to go.
that may be so, but I firmly disagree.
I don't want to force you, Sylvie. I don't want to force you at all. It's ultimately your decision. I think that this is a really good opportunity for us to learn some things. And we may piss off Guru by kicking off the doors of this brothel,
Fuck
but...
Guru, I've already pissed him off today or yesterday. It's just
Right.
a day that ends in Y when I'm pissing somebody off.
It sounds like she's very important. And there's
What if she is the
I'm
Will-O-Wisp
important.
and she's the one helping all these, she's hurting the slavers and helping people.
Why
What
is
if
it-
that's her?
Why is it that every time I get a little bit of attention, I'm the child of the stars, I'm special, one of my family members has to come in and rip it all away from me. It happens every day, all the time. That's why I left. And now I have to go in and save her. She's taking everything away from me.
Think about all of the amazing things that you've done and helped us accomplish.
I
No one
know.
will ever be able to take that away from you, not even your sister. But her
Right.
life is important.
Well, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that I don't agree with what Madame Zostra says about blood being the most important thing. My family didn't do shit for me. The only time that I ever had people in my life that were important were you guys, and you're not blood.
Maybe
You got
maybe
it.
Maybe it's just not evident yet what it means. I'm new to all of this mysticism and magic stuff. For the most part, it's all beyond me. But I can't help but maybe we just aren't able to see the importance yet. And I think that it might be worth making sure that your sister is okay. Again, I would never force you. This decision is ultimately yours.
Like I said, I don't want her to die. It's not like I want her to die, but I don't want any of you to die.
We're
to
not
save
going to
her.
die. And she's clearly a part of all of this. And if we let her die, we let
I
these
don't want to let her
slavers...
die.
Then we need to go now.
And we've yet to find something that would ever take us down.
Well, you haven't met my father. Anyway, what, Madame
You
Zostra?
have no idea how special you are.
See, I told you I was special.
Your
Keep going.
sister. Do you remember your reading?
Vaguely, I'm sorry. It was a long time
It's
ago.
been 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience, the ghost. Your purpose, the 9 of stars, the conjurer. Your unknown, the marionette. Your guidance, the 3 of coins, the trader. And your destiny, the 7 of stars, the illusionist. I do not forget the reading. And the cards speak, the ball speaks, and all of it is true. You will do what you will with that knowledge. If you do not go tonight, your sister is surely doomed. Whatever happens to her is on your hands now.
Thank you. We can discuss this outside.
We need to go.
You see her putting the kind of talon back into her robes. And she...
Before we go, can you tell us any more about Taiki?
I
Any
think
details?
that can be a story for another time.
She came looking for answers. and the answers in the cards spelled her doom. It did not answer, at least to her, who did what they did to her, or how she could seek salvation, if salvation is possible. Very few of us will ever experience such a privilege to be saved. That is all. The card spoke.
Thank you. Hopefully we will see you in the future.
We will.
All of us alive.
All of you will see me in the future. Goodbye.
Well, that's
Have a lovely
good
night.
to hear. Goodbye. I get up very swiftly and kind of quickly walk outside and turn around.
You've all been standing, so that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, you all leave. She sits there, piercing blue eyes, staring back at you. Same look of curiosity on her panther skin rug. Hands crossed. Observing as you all make your way into the night. And that's where we'll end the session.
That was intense, Mike.
Jesus fucking shit, man.
Like me on like a human non-player level, I'm a little freaked out.
That means he's doing his job.
Oh my god.
This is the arc, ladies and gentlemen.
This is what we do. I don't even know what can you send that to us?
Yeah.
Like, just so we have it?
Since we bought our cards.
Yes, I will say because you all bought your cards, I will send you, each of you, your reading, the placement, and the card.
Awesome.
Tried to write down as much as I could as we were going.
I bought a Taroka deck last minute yesterday.
Yeah. Richie was literally like, "Did you buy a Taroka deck on Amazon?" I'm like, I didn't.
I've never heard this word before. What is Taroka?
It's the D&D version of tarot.
Yeah.
Tarot
So
cards.
it's for Curse of Strahd, and I'm not a huge fan of how Curse of Strahd did things, so I got out of hand. I had an inkling, and then just kind of, as Derek will say, if you're watching Derek, I Tetrised out. I Tetrised out. Thank you, Winnie.
Love you.
My brain Tetrised out, and I got
All
out
the
of
blocks
hand.
exploded, and you got like a triple modifier.
Yeah, I got a triple modifier. Yeah, it was very intense. So
That rocked. That was like super flavorful.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was really fun.
well.
My mind feels like the soup in a bread bowl.
Hey
That's
Derek, let me know what you
eating.
think. Shoot me a message on Hangouts and we'll talk. And
Yeah, wow.
let me know how you thought it went. So anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll be back on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Andy Vandris will be here at the table. So we'll have
I
you.
might just sit around with you guys Tuesday and just watch.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nothing else to do.
Hey, come up with a character and I'll throw you in as an NPC or some shit.
Dadius will guest in Feywild.
Guest
Oh
character?
my god.
Time for Darius!
Yes! And hey, Bubbernot, thanks for stopping by.
hey, Bubbernot.
I love your shit, man.
Darius is great to return.
Congratulations, Nose, on your giveaway
congratulations,
prize.
Nose.
Thank you guys so much. We love you guys.
And we'll be at PAX East this weekend, or
PAX
PAX
Unplugged
Unplugged,
in
because
Philadelphia.
East is not here.
Yes.
We'll be PAX Unplugged.
Yes, anyone that will be in PAX Unplugged, it's a really awesome PAX-related tabletop convention. Come say hi. We'll be there. Please, let's hang out if you're there.
And I think we're gonna raid somebody
Yeah,
to spread the
we are.
Avantris love.
We are going to raid somebody.
So,
We're going to raid. Let's see here.
Who are we raiding?
who are we?
I kind of like the lack of lighting. It makes me feel.
It was very creepy for your Taroka.
I
reading.
am a spooky ghost. Did you see how I kind of went into my Dracula voice? I don't recommend circular dungeons.
Let's raid.
Yeah.
Welcome Party RPG.
Taroka deck, $10. Wizards of the Coast. I recommend it. We're not
Oh
sponsored
yeah,
by
we
Wizards of
can
the Coast.
actually no. Let's do this. We're going to raid Castle Mac. Our friends.
Oh
at
yeah,
Castle
we
Mac.
love Castle Mac. They're great guys. They're almost local to us.
Yeah.
If you don't subscribe to Castle Mac or follow Castle Mac, follow them. They're a bunch of really good guys. And
They're really,
gals.
really nice. Great people.
So yeah, here we go. We're about
We'll
to
see
raid.
you next Tuesday with Call of the Feywild, and then Wednesday for Prime, and hopefully we'll see you at PAX Unplugged.
Yeah, if anyone's there.
If anyone's there,
We'll Tweety McTweeterson about as we are venturing the con. So.
we love you guys.
Thanks everybody.
Goodbye,
Have a good night.
Night,
Hi
guys.
guys.
Love you. Bye.